Channel 7 presents the high school football game of the week. Tonight from Lineberger Stadium in Belmont, it's the South Point Red Raiders taking on the Wonders from A.L. Brown of Kannapolis. Good evening, everyone. Along with Woody Kane, I'm Randy Whitley. It is round number 2 of the State 3A high school football playoffs. And number 2 in the state, number 3 in the state. This the premier game. This maybe looks like a state championship game tonight.
It really is, Randy. It's a shame this game is not a little bit later in the playoffs. These are perhaps the best 2 teams left in the West. They are very similar. One thing you'll notice from both teams tonight is speed. They both fly to the football. They both have tremendous speed on offense. On defense, they both rely a lot on taking the ball away. Last week against Concord, South Point took it away 5 times. Kannapolis, on the other hand, averages taking it away from their opponents about 3 times every game.
We talked about a lot of similarities. Let's talk about maybe some of the differences that we see tonight.
Well, one thing you'll notice from South Point is they run the triple option attack. If folks have seen Georgia Southern, they've seen the same kind of offense. The coaching staff goes to Georgia Southern to study on that offense. They will pitch it around a lot tonight. They won't throw a whole lot. They average throwing it about 4 times a game. Kannapolis, on the other hand, as we've seen especially late in the year, has opened the offense up and has passed a lot more than they did early in the season.
If you're a fan that really is not caring to see either team, no allegiance, whatever, what a great game to pick to come see.
Oh, it really is. Huge crowd on both sides tonight. A lot of excitement. It feels like the playoffs.
We'll be back with more pregame when our Metro 7 coverage continues after this. Welcome back to Lineberger Stadium on the campus of South Point High School. Beautiful Belmont, North Carolina, just minutes away from tonight's opening kickoff between the Wonders and the Red Raiders. Earlier, Steve Gann had a chance to talk with head coach John Devine and get the pulse of the Red Raiders.
Thanks, Randy. Coach, first of all, I got to thank you for the hospitality. The barbecue was great.
I'm glad you like it. We specialize in that.
You know, I come over here and met a lot of folks. Dave Wheeler, I got to mention him, and one of the guys said, call him Snake Wheeler. I'd never heard that before, but a lot of fine support here at Belmont.
Yeah, we got a great booster club and great community support, and we're proud of it.
Coach, you've had a great year. 10-0-1, and then the one loss or the one tie was against a powerhouse Ashbrook, and I think the game was shortened.
Hey, we had a lightning delay at the end of the 3rd quarter, and then the storm didn't move away. So, you know, we don't like ties, but you know, we had to be satisfied with it. We didn't want to go back on Saturday morning and do the end of it for 12 minutes. It just wasn't worth it for us. But you know, they had an excellent ball club, and they're doing well in the playoffs.
Yeah, I understand that. You know, I got to mention Soupy Campbell. I didn't realize you was assisted under Soupy Campbell. And man, I can tell you some stuff about him. I'm sure you can too. You know, our viewers back home know Soupy, and he's been around a long time, so he's gonna be watching this.
Soupy gave me an opportunity to coach outside linebackers back when I first got into coaching. He's a great guy.
Yeah, he is. I believe he'll probably be on radio some up there tonight. Anyway, Coach, I got to talk about your team. You know, you like I said, you guys are 10-0-1. The triple option is modeled after Georgia Southern. What's the connection?
Well, not really a connection. We were an option team to begin with. Ran out of the I, pro I, and ran an option, and we felt like people were loading up on us. You know, putting 9, 10 guys in the box and blitzing us heavily. Now we can spread them out a little bit more and keep you honest a little bit. And since we've done that, our offense was always pretty good. But you know, against big, strong teams, you know, like a Concord last week, we wouldn't have been able to move the ball because of our size. This week, last week, the size and the speed, it had a contrast of styles, but our speed, overcame some of that size, and by spreading out, we could do that.
You know, I looked at some of your numbers and looked at some of the names on your roster. Devin Lowry, the quarterback, a senior quarterback, tremendous year. He's having what an athlete he is. I understand he's a better baseball player than he is football player.
He got a 92-mile-an-hour fastball and probably get drafted this spring. He's got a lot of options, an excellent basketball player as well. So, he's been blessed with a lot of talent and great teammates. So, they let him shine a little bit.
Coach, I don't want to take anything away from you, but when you coach talent like that, it makes your job easier.
Well, it's always a pleasure to coach athletes and you know, we've had great athletes here, and you know, we've just tried to match up, you know, the Steams with what they can do, and you know, for the last couple of years, it's been a perfect match.
Got to mention your field goal kicker, a young fella kicked a 47-yard field goal against Concord last week. Pretty impressive on the high school level.
Well, he had a 48-yard against Kings Mountain also. He's had 4 field goals, and he's got a good leg. He does a good job on the kickoff, putting it where we want to put it. You know, sometimes we kick it deep, sometimes we don't, but he'll put it where we want it.
You mentioned Kings Mountain. Got to mention Ron Massey. Last time you guys played, it was a 108-point shootout. I believe you come out on the top end of it. What do you expect tonight?
I expect a defensive ball game. You know, they've got a great defense, and I feel like we can play a little bit of defense, and you know, it's going to be, there'll be some points scored, but it'll be nothing like 56, 52. At least I hope not. My heart can't take that.
Other than defense, you think it'll come down to the kicking game or maybe some big plays?
Well, you know, kicking game always plays a big part in it. You know, field position always dictates what you can do offensively, and you know what your opponent will do offensively. So the kicking game is always important, all 3 phases. And again, you got to control the line of scrimmage offensively and defensively. So, you know, we're looking for a hard-fought game tonight.
Yeah, we're looking for a great football game. John, again, the hospitality's been great. Thanks for talking to us. Let you get back to work, and good luck.
Well, thanks for coming.
Thank you. Okay, Randy, back to you.
South Point, of course, a 28-13 winner in the first round over the Concord Spiders in the game that probably a little closer than that final score indicated, as South Point able to seize control late in the ball game. Of course, the Wonders, they're coming in on a roll, having demolished Fred T. Ford last week in the opening round, 49-10. How are the Wonders feeling right now? Well, Steve had a chance to talk with head coach Ron Massey.
Thanks again, Randy. Coach, here we are. We're down to it. At Belmont, familiar place for you.
Yeah, it is. Been down here a few times, and some good times and bad times, but it's a great atmosphere for high school football here.
We're going to talk about a bad time. A year ago, you guys met, and I believe you come out on the short end of the stick, 56-52, if I'm not mistaken. 108 points in a football game, unheard of.
Well, that was a different team, and this is a different team here, and this is going to be between Kannapolis and South Point, and you know, everybody wants to talk about what happened last year. I mean, that has no bearing on either one of these teams, because these are both different teams with their own identities, and I think tonight, I hope the fans see a great football game.
I know they will, Ron. You know, you're talking about both teams had a great year. You guys are 1 loss. Belmont team had 1 tie. Like I say, we're down to it. What's your last-minute thoughts?
Well, you know, we just we had a great week of practice, and I told our coaches the other night, I said, if we don't go out and beat ourselves, I said, you know, it's going to be a great football game, and I think we're ready to play. You know, we got defensively, obviously, we got to try to contain Devon and Reed and Tiger Williams. And offensively, we can't allow them to make big plays. They've been able to fly around defensively and make some turnovers, cause some turnovers. We just got to hold on to football, and yeah, if we do that, I feel like we'll be in the ball game at the end.
Ron, Wednesday night on the headliners, you mentioned the flu bug going through the team. How's everybody feeling?
Well, we've got a couple that did, you know, probably not 100%, but I think when they get out here and as soon as warm-ups start, they'll feel 100%, maybe a little better.
I tell you, this atmosphere is great. It's a good football night. We're looking forward to a good football game. The best of luck.
Well, I appreciate it. You know, playoffs are something special, and yeah, that's why you work. I mean, it's a different atmosphere, it's a different feeling, and that's the way it ought to be. So we're having fun tonight.
Thanks for talking to us. Good luck, Ron. Okay, guys, back to you.
Thanks, Steve. Coach Massey looked like the bull trying to get out of the gate there. Let's hope the Wonders follow suit with the head coach. Back with the opening coin toss, the introduction of the captains, and we will have the keys to the game here momentarily, as we're just a few minutes away from tonight's opening kickoff. Woody, a lot of keys in this game. It could go either way, as Coach Massey and Coach Devine said, but what do we think here?
Well, I think one of the important things is early momentum to establish that. A huge crowd here tonight for both squads. If Kannapolis can get up early, it might take this huge South Point crowd out of the game a little bit. If they can't, the crowd will get on them and make it very, very difficult in the early going. Another key is defensive pressure. pressure. We mentioned the Red Raiders run that triple option look. It'll be important for Kannapolis to get in the backfield and see if they can break some of that up. On the other side of the ball, if Josh Lee has a lot of time to stand back there and pick his receivers out, it'll be trouble for the Red Raiders. The final key special teams tonight. We mentioned the range that the field goal kicker for South Point has, 47 and 48 yarders in the past couple of weeks. Meanwhile, Kannapolis ran a kick back for a touchdown a week ago, so that's going to be huge tonight.
We're going to take a short break and be back with one of the most exciting points of any game, the introduction of the coin toss and the kickoff, and of course the teams and their entrance into the stadium. Back in just a minute. Referee Brad Allen is in charge of tonight's game, and let's go meet him and the captains.
Gentlemen, I've got Captain Lowry, Devine, Williams, and Gibson. Shake hands, guys. You're going to call the talk? Okay, fellas, we've got 7 officials tonight. We'll cover the plays. Captain White, you're in charge of the team from White. You talk to the White team. Captain Red, you're in charge of the team in red. You talk to the red team. If you've got a question, talk to us. Other than that, just play football, okay? Captain White, we're going to allow you to call the toss. It's a regular 50-cent piece. There's heads and there's tails. I'll flip it. Call it while it's in the air. If I drop it, we'll do it again. Call it in the air. Tails. No, it's tails, and it is tails. White has won. You have the options to kick, receive, defend, or defer.
You want to receive the ball.
Okay? White has won. They are going to receive. Captain Red, which goal would you like to defend? You want to kick in that direction? All right, White, turn and face the clock. White has won the toss. And we'll receive. Good luck, guys.
That very productive Wonder offense will get their first chance at the football tonight as we check the offensive line first for A.L. Brown High School.
Well, a familiar group there. Barrier, Tuttle, Crosby, Davis, and Overcash up front for the Wonders. Josh Lee, a 1,000-yard passer. Chris Carter has had a spectacular year. 20 touchdowns rushing and receiving. Caldwell, Anthony, Allison, and Abercrombie. And then the defensive unit for the Raiders, Cosner, Rice, Blackwell, and Hambrick in that 4-man front. In the backfield, Stowe, McWhorter, Gibson, Devine, the son of the coach, Riddle, Lowry, and Tiger Williams. Lowry headed to the Shrine Bowl. He's also the quarterback, but he's going to the Shrine Bowl as a defensive back.
Well, for you folks at home watching in color, there's no doubt about it. The Red Raiders, there you see it, all red trimmed in white, as it will be B.J. Richmond, the guy to kick it away, as the Wonders just now deploying their kick team. And there is Jason Brown, who we saw a 93-yard touchdown return, kickoff return last week against Fred T. Ford. There's the other speedster, Chris Carter, back at about the 10-yard line. So both teams have premier players, possibly Division I players, and they're going to play at a higher level next year for sure, especially these seniors who are graduating. B.J. Richmond saying some final words to his team before he kicks it away as the second round of the 2000 playoffs for the 3A. This sounds like a state championship game the way the folks are on their feet.
It feels like it.
And we are underway. This one sailing deep into the end zone on the touchback. The Wonders will operate 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
That one kind of fooled Brown a little bit, Randy. He took a few steps in and it sailed over his head.
We got here about 2 hours before game time. They were waiting to get into the gates here at South Point. As you see, Ron Massey, he did find a perch here at Lineberger Stadium, didn't he?
Well, you knew he would. He likes that high view. He's been going to that for the past several games now and feels like it gives him a good view and a good opportunity to run this offense.
Josh Lee will have Dale King, the single setback behind him. 2 wide receivers and a wing as Lee, throwing on 1st down, completes it out of the flat to Allison, and he stopped for a negligible gain, maybe a couple of yards on the play. Coming up, Philip Stowe, the freshman defensive man, to make the stop.
Stowe had 4 tackles, including one for a 10-yard loss against Concord a week ago. Also, he recovered a fumble and had a quarterback sack. He'll be a guy whose name we call quite a bit tonight.
It is 2nd down and 8 from the 22-yard line. They'll send one man in motion. Here's Lee on the option, keeps it, breaks a tackle, cuts it out across the 25 near the 28-yard line. There you see the running ability. Jordy Rice over there, the junior defensive guy for the Red Raiders to make the stop. The Wonders will have it 3rd and short. We see Lee again, and just a lot of strength and athleticism there, Woody.
Exactly. We've talked about him being a former linebacker, Randy, and he ran right through the tackle of Philip Stowe that time to pick up some nice yardage. 3rd and short, key play early.
Single setback. Carter in motion, and it will be Lee keeping it, hemmed in, and depending on where the progress, he has to get to the 30. He's right at it, and did he get the progress? I think he just got over it. The pile kind of got pushed over.
He might have made it on about 5th effort, Randy. There was a lot of pushing. Watch when they stack him up here, and they keep going, and they keep going, and then help arrives, and more blocking and shoving. And they did get it.
There were 20 of the maybe 22 players out there within 2 feet of the ball. And the Wonders will have it 1st and 10 just over their own 30-yard line. Lee, the senior, all-conference linebacker last year in the SBC, being pressed into quarterback duty this year, can run the football. Boy, does he got a gun for an arm. Nothing there for Caldwell. In the backfield, Eric Caldwell hemmed in, stopped immediately by Philip Stowe, who came blitzing through. He guessed right. And a loss for the Wonders.
Sure did, and we've seen Kannapolis go to that misdirection play a lot, Randy. Put a guy in motion and pitch it to him or hand it off to him, get the defense looking the wrong way and try to sweep around him. That time Stowe obviously has been watching some film. Look at that. He came right through and busted up that play.
Caldwell over 700 yards rushing on the year. No chance to really get anything that time. 2nd down, and let's go to 13 at the 27. Lee sends Carter in motion with a play fake, drops back, pops it over the middle, and incomplete. Overthrown, intended for Allison that time. He was well covered on the play up at about midfield.
And Josh got some pressure that time, Randy. He may have had to get rid of that a beat sooner than he wanted to. It's going to bring up a 3rd and long now for the Wonders.
They need the 40-yard line to keep the Sticks alive. We watched the replay.
He did get a little bit of pressure, and Allison couldn't quite get to it.
So the Wonders with a key 3rd down conversion here with 9:35 to go in the opening period. Fans are, boy, this is the loudest I've heard a crowd this year. Out of the shotgun, Lee, pressure, pops it out to Allison on the slant, 30, 32, 33, and he is punished. A lot of red shirts in the vicinity led by Tiger Williams, an outstanding defensive back. He's a senior and kind of one of the team leaders.
And he will also carry the ball quite a bit, Randy. Josh Lee has to check off, throw it out into the flat, and not a lot of room. Good recovery there. They bump him a couple of times before they finally get him down. But Tiger Williams is a demon, they say, in the weight room. He's always the guy knocking the door down, ready to get into it.
Michael Anthony on the punt for Kannapolis, standing at about his 20. Williams is the deep back. Good snap, no pressure, and Anthony gets off a boomer. It'll be Williams with the return at the 30. Stopped immediately. White shirts down there, namely Daniel Brown. He gave him about a half a second, and bam. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. First for the Raiders on that offensive line.
Hammock, Lowry, Gibson, Hallman, and Williams up front of that 5-man group. And then Lowry, Reed, McWhorter, Williams, Devine, and Sperlin. For the Wonders, McCoy, Turner, Basinger, and Keller up front. Linebackers and secondary, McClure, White, Lipscomb, Gibson, Collins, and Fox and Brown, the defensive backs.
Raiders first down. Lowry breaks it into the secondary. He will be down at about the 45, 46-yard line. First down, D'Angelo Collins caught him. That was a busted play, and that athlete made it happen.
It really is. Now watch 41 right there break into the backfield. It looked like he had the play shut down, but you see the athletic ability there to get away from Durad Lipscomb, from Devin Lowry, and he turns nothing into something for the Red Raiders.
Up to the 47-yard line. First down and 10 for South Point. Their first chance with the football tonight. It'll be the fullback spinning and a big hole and keeping it out of the end end zone was D'Angelo Collins. Rashard Reed had open room across midfield down to the Wonder 37-yard line.
Well, you get an idea there, Randy, of why Rashard Reed has been a 1,000-yard rusher this year. He had 105 yards a week ago on 20 carries against the Concord Spiders. Now, earlier, Coach Massey had told us, Randy, it's important for the Wonders to stay patient in this game because they might break some plays early, but they have to maintain their schemes.
Lowry keeps it behind the running of Reed, and the secondary will catch him, but not before he gets it near. I think he does have another first down across the 28-yard line. Jason Brown with the stop. When you got your corners and your secondary people making the tackle, that offensive line, and the execution is there for the guys in red right now.
It really is, Randy, and a big problem is identifying who has the ball. They're very experienced at South Point in running this offense.
And they will give it to Reed this time, and they stop him right at the line of scrimmage. He got a couple of Dwayne McClure over there to hit him first, but not before he got to the 20, just inside the 20. Pick up maybe 4 yards on the play. So when you stop them, you think, hey, we done a good job, but they still gained 4 yards on you.
And the key thing to think about too, Randy, is they are already well within range of B.J. Richmond, the kicker.
Reed, the lone setback on the wing over there. Or actually, we got two wings, and it will be Lowry around the left side. Great fake, and he's hit and stopped down at about the 16-yard line. Jason Brown over there first for the Wonders. They strung that one out a little bit better, so the defense has to have chance, I guess, Woody, as you said, to react to the quickness and get used to.
Well, this is all speed here, Randy, because he hit Lowry, and the Wonders just flat raced out there and kept that from being a big play.
Here's a big play coming up. Third down on a long one. I guess you would say they're in 4-down territory at the 15-yard line. Lowry options out at the last minute. They'll have the first down as he optioned out, and they'll get down to about the 11-yard line. It was Chris Gibson on the tackle. Brian McWhirter.
Check it out again. This is the first time we've seen him pitch it, Randy, and I think if Kannapolis had their druthers, they'd like to see the Red Raiders pitching around a lot because, as we've seen in option attacks, when you do that a whole lot, there's a tendency to put it on the ground.
First and 10 from the 11-yard line. Lowry keeps it this time, hits it up, and got about 3 that time. The Wonder Interior led by McClure once again over there to make the hit.
And that time they kind of threw him down after they got a hold of him. The Wonders getting a little frustrated here early trying to seal this off, but you know they've seen plenty of film. They've seen plenty of this Red Raider attack. They just have to maintain their composure early and maintain their lanes. And remember now, Coach Massey told you and I during the Headliners program that was a big key. They might give up some plays early, but they have to maintain their patience and composure.
Second down and 7 from the 8-yard line. Reed this lone setback. And the ball is loose. Kannapolis may have the football. No, I think the Belmont recovered. Let's see. Or I should say South Point. That was a missed exchange there for sure, and the ball bounced up opportunistically for, there you see it.
And one of the Wonders got into the backfield early and absolutely destroyed that play before it got going. It looked like they wanted to go to Rashard Reed that time, but penetration by the Wonders, and we just mentioned turnovers are a possibility in this kind of offense. They may get a lot of them back, but they'll put the ball on the ground some.
At the 7-yard line. Toss sweep this time, cutting it, and hemmed in and stopped as Tyler Williams at the 5-yard line. Good tackle by the Shrineborer. Lee Basinger that time for the Wonder defense.
And he did. Lee ran a long way to make this play. Watch 75. He's way at the top of your picture, and now here he comes in to make that play.
He is so fast. So fast. He can cover some ground.
Used to be kids that big couldn't move that fast.
Fourth down. They need about a long 4, and they're going for it, Woody.
Huge play.
Here's Lowry. Down the line. Cuts it up. The Wonders will stop him, I believe. Yes. He's going to be about a yard shy of the first down, Woody. That's a huge stop if it holds. Chad Keller, the first guy. And there you see the Wonder fans cheering their approval. Here we see the play again.
He looked like he wanted to pass, Randy, and rolled it back and didn't quite have enough room to get it. Another Wonder we need to mention who was there, Sean Davis, the captain, 6'2", 249-pound senior, helped shut that play down. So the Wonders dodge a bullet, but they're deep in their own territory now.
Boy, it's amazing when he gets down inside that red zone. Boy, those yards get tougher and tougher and tougher and tougher, especially when you get this far in the playoffs. And these two caliber ball teams. And points, I think I agree with Coach Devine. It might be a defensive struggle tonight. Wonders offense back on the field at the 2-yard line. They'll go with a little counter, and here's Carter with speed. He's got room. He's at the 30. He's got a block. Chris Carter could take it to the house, but a flag is down. But it's going to be pretty to watch. 98 yards of a touchdown run.
Now the flag, Randy, is about the 35-yard line. So if it's against the Wonders, at least they're going to be out of the shadow of their own goalposts here.
And it was a play that the guy is 10 yards in front of you. It doesn't matter if you hit this guy.
The block is not going to help him at that point, but it is going to be a clip, a block in the back. Now remember, the flag is about the 35-yard line, so it's going to be a nice gain nonetheless for Kannapolis.
Interesting thing, they went with a little counter here, Woody. You got them going one way,
come back the other, and then see you.
It's over. Once you see 16, you're not going to catch it, right?
No, the only thing when you see this is you're going to watch that 16 getting smaller and smaller as he runs away from you.
Kind of like the Roadrunner and the Coyote there.
Maybe. However, it is going to turn out to be a nice gain for the Wonders. The clip will bring it back, but they have gotten some breathing room.
And if you're the South Point defense and the psyche right now, you just give up a 98-yard touchdown run up the gut, basically. What does that do to you mentally now? Okay, we got the penalty, they take it off the board, but it's got to do something.
Take a look again. You see him coming around. They come back the other way with Carter. Missed a tackle there. And right here, he's just running by people, Randy. He is picking them up and putting them down and getting a long way down the field.
Wonders 1st and 10 at their own 21-yard line. Same setback. One receiver is split to the top of your screen. They'll break a man in motion out of this option. And they will option this time. And around the back corner for about 8, maybe 9 yards. Good gain for Eric Caldwell, the outstanding senior runner. He's got some load to bring. 180 pounds for it. Justin Lyerly on the tackle for South Point.
And a nice pitch that time by Josh Lee right there in your picture, Randy. The key on that option is to hold the ball, make the defense commit and come after you, and then get rid of it. If you do it too early, you give the defense too many options and too many chances to make that play. You got to make them move at least a step or two towards you before you pitch it.
We have been talking about South Point's option game all night. Maybe we haven't mentioned Browns enough. First down on the delay. And Caldwell with about a 2-yard gain at the middle.
And they're going to have to do that some tonight, Randy. They're going to have to go up the middle some to keep South Point honest. They have a lot of speed to pursue at the corners, but you can't get them into a mode where they know you're going to try to get the end on every play.
Joe Costner on the tackle defensively for the Red Raiders as we're inside 4 minutes to go in the first period. The Wonders defense bent about as much as they could bend and held them out of the end zone.
They may have even cracked, but they didn't quite break.
That's right. Back to the fullback run, and that one diagnosed perfectly.
Ball's loose.
It was loose, but it will be 3rd down. The Wonders did retain possession. Dale King really never had a chance to get uncranked, so the junior nowhere to go that time.
Looked like 54, the sophomore, Joe Costner, got in there to break that one up early. There he is. He's the guy who shut that play down.
Wonders now faced with 3rd down and 1.
And let's see if they try to get the ball into Carter's hands again, Randy, on a little pass out in the flat and see what he can do. They haven't tried to throw him the ball yet, but he showed you he's got the speed to outrun this defense.
He's in the slot to the bottom. You've got him in motion now. Allison to the top as the wide. Play fake, Lee rolling. 3rd and 10, fires, incomplete. Big collision at about the 43-yard line. Lowry over there playing defense, going both ways tonight, and made the big defensive play, and that'll force the Wonders into a punting situation.
Everybody that time on the break, Randy, went toward Allison, nobody followed Carter, who was 10 yards behind everybody, streaking down the field.
So Anthony and the Wonders punt unit on the field.
The officials stopping the clock here for something.
Make sure everybody have their gloves on, I guess.
Yeah, it's cold. There's Tiger Williams. He's 5'9", 165 pounds, but averages about 10 yards a carry on offense.
The Red Raiders peel for the return. This is a short kick, kind of shanked off the side of his foot, and Belmont South Point will get great field position, depending on where it went out. Where are they going to spot it?
It looks like he's going to say about the 45, maybe even inside of that.
How about the Wonder 44-yard line? Let's see, 43-yard line. So he was trying to kick it away to Williams, I guess, toward the sidelines, and he got too much angle there. So South Point, their second possession, will have great field position.
They're definitely winning the field position war here early.
And we have 2.5 minutes to go in the first period. Flag, whistle stop play.
There is a flag down too in the Kannapolis secondary.
Did they not get the play off in time?
I don't see the huddle clock.
I don't think they have a huddle clock here.
That might be why I don't see it.
Excellent deduction.
There you go. Can't fool me.
Let's see what Mr. Allen, the referee, calls here. He's
they're going to wave it off. Okay, so they did throw a flag, and they say, sorry, our bad. Everybody get up again.
I think it was a practice toss.
Well, they should have been warming up like the players were now. The officials can stand on the sidelines and throw those flags around, warm up when the players do.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. At the Wonder 43-yard line, Lowry sets him down. He'll keep it, cuts it up, hit after about 5. Brown on the coverage. Lee Basinger, the first guy there defensively for the Wonders.
And Lee Basinger, Randy, as this game has gone on, has become more and more and more active.
Boy, did you see that collision between the fullback and the defensive lineman? Boy, they are.
Well, Rashard Reed, the fullback that you're talking about, he's not huge, 175-pounder, but he really has strong legs, strong upper body, and he can bring the heat.
Lowry, play fake. He's going to go deep. Overthrow. Had the receiver, had him beat. Drew Devine couldn't come up with it. Just led him a little bit too far. He had about 2 steps on D'Angelo Collins that time. Just a straight fly.
And D'Angelo, you can almost see him say, oh no, he's throwing. He wasn't all that close to him, but had a good recovery speed that time. And Devine there, the coach's son, had one go just off his fingertips. Brings up a third and relatively long.
Here's a key play. 3rd and 5. 38-yard line of Kannapolis.
And you've got an idea there, Randy, of what kind of arm Lowry has.
I think he could throw it about 80 yards in the air if he wanted to.
Coach Massey said, don't think he's only a runner.
Lowry keeps it, cuts it up, and he will have the first down. That last little spin gets him to the 32-yard line. McClure on the tackle for the Wonders. He needed 5, and I believe he got 6.
So elusive, Randy. Watch him just find a way to get through here and drag the tackler a couple of yards. Ball almost came out at the end of that, but he was already on the ground. Just has excellent speed, very elusive. Last week against Concord, we mentioned the passing. He was 2 out of 7 for 48 yards, but he ran for 50 yards and 21 carries.
From the 32-yard line of Kannapolis, it'll be Reed stopped in the backfield, and there will be none of that. As it was Prince McCoy, first time we've called his name tonight. Outstanding defensive member of the Wonders, playing that nose, beat his man and was in right there. Bam! Right.
Really did, Randy. He got his shoulder pads underneath the man blocking him, got an arm on the ball carrier, and was able to sling it.
And that's what you got to do. You got to have something negative happen to that defense. You know, now it's 2nd and long.
But this Red Raider bunch, Randy, a lot of weapons. They can break one on you.
They've got 4 wide receivers this time with a single setback Reed. Here's Lowry, stopped. Well, the Wonders were waiting. Nothing there. Flag is down. McClure on the tackle. Could have been a face mask. Could have been a hold in there. We'll just wait and see what the call is.
Well, Dwayne McClure was the first guy there and stacked him up, but Lowry kept fighting that time, and there may have been, I think you're right, something after the fact when they were trying to wrestle him to the ground. Let's see.
Here comes the call from Brad Allen, the referee. Plus what a 5-yard or a 10-yard variety. We'll see.
What a bad break, though, Randy. Instead of 3rd and long, it's going to be close to or a first down. Look at that. McClure just broke through there. And I don't know. I have to think that might be the 5-yard garden variety.
And that's exactly what it is. They move the ball down to the Wonder 28-yard line.
And they get the down over.
So it'll be 2nd down. And let's call it a long 5. Yeah, that changes the complexion a whole lot as we're down inside 40 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Lowry. And there's the option, and there's the tackle. Charlie Fox staying home. He said somebody's coming this way, and he just held the guy who was trying to block him until the last minute, fought him off, and made the tackle.
Watch this, Randy. They string it out very well. Lowry wants to keep it, but has to pitch it. Fox fights off the block and pulls him down, Tiger Williams, before he can really get up ahead of steam.
That's textbook from Charlie Fox that time.
Excellent play.
The 5'11 junior showed you how to do it. That's how they do the X's and O's on the chalkboard. That'll be it. An exciting 12 minutes here at Lineberger Stadium between the number 2 and number 3 ranked teams in the state. No score. Randy Whitley along with Woody Kane, and it has been Devin Lowry leading the way here so far. The good news for Belmont South Point, the good news for the Wonders is their defense has played stellar when they've had to and have kept them off the board here through the first 12 minutes, Woody.
Well, they really have, but the pressure is on the Kannapolis defense now. A stand here would be crucial.
3rd and 5 from the 28-yard line. Reed gets the handoff, and the Wonders are waiting on him after about a 2-yard gain. It's going to be tough to run up the middle, and you can't string it out laterally on him. So Lowry's going to have to make it happen. Chad Keller, number 79, staying home to make the play.
Right there, Prince McCoy helping out. Several Wonders in on that tackle, and I think Coach Massey would say that's what I like to see. 3, 4, 5 guys getting to the ball, and now we're going to have a long field goal attempt here.
McWhirter to hold, B.J. Richmond to kick it. It'll be a 43-yard attempt from the right hash mark. There is no wind tonight.
They got confusion, Randy. I think they just called a timeout. They got all kinds of confusion out there. They didn't call a timeout, but they are really struggling to get everybody out there and lined up correctly.
They only had 10 guys out there. Okay, here we go. Snap, spot, kick, and it is no good.
He did get it.
Good. He got it over. Okay.
Very low, but it squeaks across.
I was shielded momentarily by a speaker. My apologies. The Red Raiders have taken their first lead of the game. They lead it 3-0. We have 11:07 to go in the first half. Welcome back as the Red Raiders with a big foot. It wasn't pretty, but it just got over the crossbar. B.J. Richmond with a 43-yarder, and it's given his team a 3-0 advantage. If that stays up, holds up tonight, that'll be very surprising.
And remember last time, you see Jason Brown back there. He ran a kick back a week ago, but remember last time, B.J. Richmond, who just made that field goal, kicked it out of the back of the end zone. So he is definitely a weapon for this South Point team.
Keep in mind, the Wonders have a 98-yard run by Chris Carter called back for a clipping penalty.
After he was already beyond him.
Exactly. Richmond with a leg. He's a lethal weapon. Kicks this one on a line driver. Hard field that time. Picking up by Brown at about the 5. Looking. Escapes one man. Escapes another. And will go out to about the 25, 26-yard line. Lyerly down there on the coverage for the Red Raiders. But a good return for Jason Brown.
And the Wonders should feel good about the field position this time. They're not in the shadow of their own end zone for a change. And let's see if they settle down a little bit offensively. They've only got 3 first downs so far compared to 6 for the Red Raiders. And the Wonders have gotten a first down and then out. A first down and then out, it seems like, in this contest so far.
This will be their 3rd series on offense. Josh Lee, the senior, with Dale King, the running back, the junior, behind him. Sent Edwards in motion. Now a little flip out in the flat. Good. Caldwell keeps his feet. Got an extra couple of yards. Good second effort. Lowry on the coverage.
He almost got away from Lowry, did Caldwell, but he was slipping down and couldn't make much more out of it. Look at this. Close to a face mask there, but good balance by Caldwell to get a couple of extra yards out of that one.
Trying to concentrate on catching the football. And then, of course, you got all those other people beating you to that, trying to get it. The nerve of those folks.
Oh, Lowry has real speed, Randy. Just a fine athlete.
It's 2nd and 6 at the 31-yard line. Caldwell, the man in motion. They fake the pitch and they go with the cross buck. This time Carter with a block. Good seal on the end. He's out to midfield. First down, Wonders. Ian Gibson runs him out of bounds.
And Carter, he looked like he only got into about 2.5 gear that time, trying to find a room. He was trying to find some room to cut on the jets and come back. You see a nice move by King there, a couple of good blocks on the backside, and finally Gibson gets him out of bounds. But there weren't many more guys for Chris to get by.
That 4.3 speed, they got a couple of arms on him. It went down to about 4.8 speed. So,
Oh, is that all?
Yeah. 47-yard line, first down, Wonders. King with the call. And the Red Raiders defense waiting on him that time. Michael McWhirter over there, the big fullback, trying to, he saw nothing up the middle, and he says, I'm going to go outside. Here we see it again.
McWhirter, number 40 right here, had 4 tackles with 2 going for losses against Concord a week ago. He's the son of the South Point JV coach, and he leads this team with 77 tackles during the regular season. And get this, Randy, how about 1,200 on the SATs and a 4.0 GPA for Mr. McWhirter?
I believe he understands the game of football, don't you?
Among other things.
It's 2nd and 13. Toss to Caldwell. Looks for a block. Gets a good block there and will get great yardage. Jordy Rice on the tackle, but not before he gets into Red Raider territory, up near the 45, maybe the 44-yard line. It'll be near a first down. They needed 13. I think he got 12, Woody.
Caldwell has deceptive speed, Randy. He doesn't look like he's running all that hard, but you see the guys chasing him. Boy, they're running hard and having a hard time catching up to him.
It's maybe the mystique of that number 20 on his back, too.
I guess, but he's just so smooth when he's running. You don't think he's going that fast, but he's really flying.
3rd and 2. They go with a quick count, and it will be King going forward. Depending on the progress, it'll be very close to a first down.
Might be close enough for him to go if they don't get it, Randy, but I think they do have it.
I'm sitting here laughing at some of the defensive linemen, the offensive linemen kind of doing some chest buttoning and mixing it up.
Just a little bit of pushing and shoving going on back down the other way there.
It's kind of like claiming your territory there if you're, bull and got a bunch of cows out there.
Well, as long as they don't start making claw marks in the trees marking their territory, we're okay. They did not get it.
Oh, it's very short. Now a timeout has been called by Kannapolis, I believe, is going to get whistled with their first timeout of the first half. 8:36 to go here at Lineberger Stadium in Belmont. It's 3-0 to Red Raiders. We always say every year, Woody, one of those 5 or 6 key plays in the game, this might be one of them. It's 4th down and about half the length of the football. And
you got to think Josh Lee is going to keep it right here, Randy. Big kid, as we mentioned before, 6'3", 210 pounds, and there he goes.
He's got it. They have lined up in the power I formation. You had McCray back there, 6'7". If they give it to Gerald, he can just fall for it for about 3 yards.
Yeah, he's definitely a high mountain to get over. Look at the crowd. Take a look at it again here. Just a good surge by the offensive line for Kannapolis forward. The offensive line got that one. Josh Lee took a step before he got hit and had the first down.
Allen Overcash, Sean Davis, Chad Tuttle and company leading the way. Here we go back to the power formation this time.
Lipscomb and McCray.
You got some bodies in there now, and nothing there. It's just a smash mouth on that play. Lowry in defensively with his quickness to stop him for a loss. Back to the South Point 41-yard line.
It almost looks like, Randy, the Wonders are beginning to wonder if they can play smash mouth with South Point.
Now they're trying it. They got the jumbo heavies in there, looks like.
It looks like they're starting to think, maybe we can outweigh these guys and push them around a little bit. Didn't work that time, but you see the thought process.
You see Josh Barrier, the center. And now we've got 4 wide receivers, and they will break Jason Brown in motion. Go straight up the gut. There's a hole up the middle inside the 20-yard line. Go the Wonders, and that is Dale King. They lulled him to sleep with a fullback. Lowry kept him out of the end zone.
Everybody in a Red Raider uniform just knew they were going on the sweep, coming back around here to Jason Brown. Look at them all chasing him, and they forgot about King. And Lowry looked like the old water skier hanging onto the rope there going downriver.
You gotta let go of the rope if you go underwater. You can't hold your breath that long, is what I've heard. King with almost 500 yards, over 500 now on the season. Lee pumps once, forced out of the pocket. Now he'll run it. He's got some room. Will go inside the 15-yard line. Josh Lee tackled by Michael McWhirter that time, and an injured Red Raider back behind the original line of scrimmage. It looks to be Jordy Rice shaking up on the plays. We see Coach Massey. Gotta like what happened there. That's kind of a improv move there for Lee.
Exactly. We talked to Coach Massey about that earlier, and he said that's what a senior quarterback's supposed to do. Josh will back up, realize it's not here, tuck it under. Now it breaks down, and he thinks, well, I'm not going to do anything risky. He knows his team is in field goal range. They're close. You don't want to do anything foolish here, and he makes a smart play and gets a short gain out of something for nothing.
Got 4 on the play. And this one breaks down as Jason Brown just tripped.
I think he tripped over Josh Lee. I think it looked like Josh maybe thought he was going to go one way, and Jason had a different idea, and they got their legs tangled up.
Lost back to about the 16-yard line, so it's 3rd down. Key play. I guess you say the Wonders are maybe in 4-down territory, nearly halfway through the second period. Allison splits to the top of your screen. You've got 2 receivers, Brown and Edwards, out of your screen to the right.
Got to watch Carter.
3rd down and long. Play fake. Lee on the roll. Looking, throwing end zone. He's got a receiver, and it is complete. It is a catch. It is a touchdown. Wonders. Chris Carter at the goal line. How did he catch it, Woody?
What a great job by Josh Lee to roll under pressure, set his feet, and fire it across his body. Carter wide open in the middle of the end zone. The only question is, could Josh Lee get his feet set in time to get something on it? And he did, just barely.
Boy, that was close to being trapped, but
he snatched it off the top of the blades of grass out there.
Thank goodness for long fingers that time by Chris Carter. Out of the hole to Charlie Fox. David Henry with a big extra point. It's up, and he is perfect on the year. 5:52 to go. First half. Wonders have come back, and they take the lead. They lead at 7-3. Welcome back. Michael Anthony set to kick it back to the Red Raiders, and they may have gotten a break on this one, Woody. As we look back on the replay, that ball looked awful close to being on the ground, but we're sitting up here, and the officials are down on the field.
He may have been shielded. We'll get a chance to look at it after the kick here again and see what happened. We'll try to still frame it for you and see if you can tell. Short squib kick.
And
that's going to be a wonder ball. Did he get it before it went out of bounds? Nobody touched it.
Well, no signal yet, and I believe it's going to be out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Sound Point won't get possession, but great hustle that time by the Wonder Kick team. They almost stole the possession that time.
Sure did. Nice hustle down there. Looked like the guy flying down the field may have been D'Angelo Collins, and let's see, they're going to say it went out of bounds, and they'll get the chance.
Illegal procedure to call against the Wonder Kick team, and
for kicking it out of bounds.
Yeah, they're going to decline that, take the ball right at the 30, just over the 37-yard line. We'll watch the replay of the touchdown here momentarily.
Take a look at it again. Looks like the ball is on the ground there. It's hard to tell if his fingers are around it or not, but
it's
from that angle, it looked like it's on the ground.
It's on the ground there, but you know, hey, we've got still frame, replay, and everything. They got to call it right then. Big hole. Reed is busted loose out to the 47. It'll be a first down or close to it. Jason Brown on the tackle that time for the Wonders.
And what a tremendous hole he had, Randy. Watch this, coming right at you. He just runs by a couple of defenders, and then they have to wrestle him down. And you get an idea there of why Rashard Reed is a 1,000-yard rusher this season.
And we will move the change out to the 48-yard line. The clock shows 5:42 left. First half. Wonders with a 7-3 lead. Here come the Red Raiders. There's a little bit slow in the first quarter, no scoring, but we might have a track meet before it's over with tonight. Lowry, hands on, Reed, rumbling, stumbling, and running over folks, and that has to have a wear and tear effect as the game goes on. He'll get about 7, maybe 8 that time to the Wonder 45-yard line before Clifford White, who has been steady this year, making the tackle.
And look at that. Clifford White did a great job, Randy. He was being pushed and slammed on the brakes, and you could see him just skidding across the field and fought through it to get back into play.
Skidding is right.
He was. I mean, he had the wheels locked down and was still going.
2nd and 3 at the Wonder 45. Lowry keeps it, and I think he'll have enough for the first down. He got 3, maybe 3.5. Terrell McCray on the tackle. Near the 42-yard line, just inside the 42, and they'll have a first down.
Here comes McCray coming over the top right there to help make the tackle along with McClure, but not before the Red Raiders pick up the first down.
Oh, you sell McCray, and then you come back with a little bit more speed and Lowry, and boy, it makes it hard.
That's why that triple option is so dangerous.
First down and 10 at the 41 of the Wonders. Ball is loose, and Lowry goes down. The ball is still loose, but they say the ground, he was down at the point of tackle, which was the line of scrimmage.
Looked like Basinger and McCoy and a couple of others broke through that time. Right there, Lee Basinger gets a shot on him, and boy, when Lee hit him, Lowry just kind of spun around and said, and put the ball down, didn't he?
I said, what?
Wow. He said,
okay.
If he hit me in the chest like that, that's what it would sound like, bones breaking and stuff.
Yeah, Lee almost got the football.
Oh!
Lowry has the football. Great fake. He'll go to the 33 of the Wonders, a pickup of about 7.
There's some guys in the middle of that line who got the little stars twirling around their heads now after that one. There was just some tremendous collisions going on right in the middle there.
And everybody thought they had the football that first guy.
Watch the middle right here.
Watch Reed. Man, he got nailed, and he didn't even have the football. That's selling out, folks. That's selling out.
Watch this. Oh!
McCray and Reed, they're not even just role players. Here's the option. Wonders, and he breaks the tackle. Down the sidelines. First down to the 20-yard line. Brian McWhirter. He was stopped for a loss, or actually no gain on the play. Just the strength of that young man. And second effort gets a first down for South Point.
One of the Wonders came up. It was either Fox or McClure, and looked like they had him stopped right at the line of scrimmage, and McWhirter just kept fighting and got through it. Watch him here coming around the end. Right there, Charlie Fox had him, but didn't quite wrap him up.
Now, Coach Massey said, you got to tackle. You got to wrap them up. Wonders move. They penetrate that neutral zone, and probably going to be guilty for 5 that time. Across the line.
I think this will be what, maybe the 2nd or 3rd penalty overall in the whole game.
It's been a pretty clean first half.
And no penalties for South Point. That's the 4th penalty against the Wonders.
Now it's getting tough yardage time. We're down to the 15-yard line of the Wonders.
A lot of things you can do here with a 1st and 5.
3 minutes to go, first half. Lowry with a big pitch this time to Williams, and he's stopped after about 3. Over there defensively, looks like Charlie Fox initially for the Wonder defense.
Watch this collision, Randy. 3 guys just converge on him, and bang, bang, pow. Oh, they need some of those little Batman symbols, you know, like they used to have. Oof, ow.
Yeah, you need that in a little telestrator. Boy, you can have fun up here tonight, can't you?
I'm going to get me one of those one day.
2nd and 7 at the Wonder 12-yard line. Lowry. He'll have the football. He's got room. Inside the 10, down to the 7. He'll have the first down. It'll be 1st and goal, South Point. Durant Lipscomb, we haven't called his name much. They've been doing the job.
Watch this. Fox will get there first, and Lipscomb comes up to finish right here to keep him out of the end zone. And you're right, we haven't called Durant's name a lot tonight, and we have been for about the past 3 games.
Well, they're not running. They're either doing a great job with that offensive line or just running away from it. 1st and goal at the 7-yard line. Lowry keeps it. Interesting call there, Woody.
Yeah, he didn't get there, they say. They had to unpile all the wreckage.
And it'll be a the touchdown.
Boy, what an atmosphere for football.
Sounds like about 30,000 people instead of maybe 6.
And look, at the top of your picture there, you can see the baseball field. It's beautiful. The football field a little bit chewed up because they've got a soccer team that's still alive in the playoffs.
And there will be spring practice after tonight's game over there in the baseball
It doesn't
facility.
feel like spring.
Richmond to attempt the tack on the extra point here. Low snap. It's up. And it's into the night. So, South Point has come back to reclaim the lead. They lead it 10-7 with 1:58 to go in the first half. I don't know if there's such a thing as momentum in this game, Woody Kane, but I guess you would have to say South Point has it right now by virtue of that touchdown. But it's going to be one of those back and forth games, I got to believe, tonight.
Yeah, but Kannapolis still has a couple of timeouts left, Randy, and plenty of time to move down the field. Remember, they are a dangerous team on kick returns, and the Red Raiders aren't kicking it away from them. They're putting it up in the air and giving them a chance to run it back.
Carter and Jason Brown, the best the Wonders have to offer on that particular category are deep. It'll be Carter at about the 4-yard, or excuse me, Brown at the 4-yard line. Looking for a little wedge, and will skip out to about the 25-yard line. So a decent return. And the Wonders with 1:50 to go and a couple of timeouts to burn.
The one thing that we haven't seen as much tonight as we thought we might is Chris Carter. He had the one touchdown called back. He did catch a touchdown pass that may or may not have been a touchdown catch. But we haven't really seen him break out like he did a week ago. The Wonders have been close, dangerously close if you're a South Point fan, to the big play a couple of times tonight.
Going to be Edwards and Jason Brown, the wideouts, to the left of your screen. They're working out of the shotgun this time. Josh Lee on the little shovel pass to Caldwell. He'll get about 3 that time. That's about it. Ian Gibson over there defensively for the Red Raiders.
The Wonders, remember, do have a couple of timeouts left. Little shovel pass here to Caldwell. And Gibson staying home to make the ankle tackle.
You do little things like that, you don't maybe expect it to work big, but it does keep that defense a little bit more honest. Now back to the single setback. Lee going deep on the fly, and it's complete. And out of bounds. And I don't think he was out of bounds until he stepped back. Andre Allison with the catch, and it stopped the clock.
And the problem was the Red Raider defender never looked up for the ball. Allison just couldn't keep his balance to stay in bounds, or he might still be running. Watch this. Never turned his head, did the defender back there, who was Drew Devine, and Allison showed you some speed.
Couple of catches on the night. That gives him 18 on the year. The Wonders are cooking. 1st and 10 at the Red Raider 40-yard line. Still plenty of time. 1:16 to go. Now they go on the draw. Caldwell fights off a few blocks. Gets a great block there. Fights off tackles. Gets a great block. Goes for about 9 that time. And gets out of bounds at 31. And that will stop the clock.
You're right, Randy. The order of events. Yeah, he ran through some tackles. Then got a block from the guy right there in your picture, 22 Allison. And then did some more tackle breaking right there. Boy, look at guys just pushing them to the ground. Nice work in there by John Hyatt. And then finally, Caldwell gets over toward the first down marker.
Here you see a close-up of Allison. They've got 4 wideouts, a single set, back to block for the quarterback. And they'll give it to Caldwell, and he's gone. Lost back to the 35, 36-yard line. They were waiting that time. Philip Stowe there along with, looked like Dustin Meyerly for the Red Raider defense. And with 56 seconds to go, the Wonders use one of their 2 remaining timeouts to stop the clock here in the first half.
Well, they went right back to the same well, and it didn't work that time. The Red Raiders were all over it. So it's going to be a little bit longer now than they had. And it's going to be critical here. The Wonders just zipped right down the field, it seemed like, and then suddenly the Red Raider defense comes storming back. Now, keep in mind, these are 2 teams used to scoring in the 30s every week, and right now you got 17 points between them.
Possessions are obviously a premium in this game, and the Wonders know it. They've got, 56 seconds, and if you don't maybe get a touchdown, you get a in field goal range. You have a chance to put some points on the board, because you know you're not going to get but maybe 3 or 4 more possessions in this game the way it's going.
And remember, South Point will get the ball first in the second half.
Okay, here we go. It is 3rd down and 5. Out of the gun. Lee with a play fake. Rolls, got good time, and he's got Jason Brown wide open, and he overthrows it down at the goal line. That was 6.
It sure was, because nobody was within 15 yards of Jason Brown. I mean, that play flat fooled him, Randy. Nobody was there. And if we keep on Josh Lee after this, you'll see he knows he threw it a little bit too deep. He smacked himself in the head after that one went by because Jason was gone.
I think he got so pumped up and couldn't believe.
Yeah, he got excited when he saw how open Jason Brown was.
How many times do the coaching staff, they say, well, hey, come back with the same play. 4th down. They need 5. Lee looking left. Now rolling. Now looking deep over the middle. He's got a couple receivers. It's batted and it's incomplete. Carter and Brown are in the end zone, and I think they really bumped into each other and kind of shaken up a little bit.
They did, Randy, and Josh Lee finally had to let it go. He looked one way, looked another, and finally saw 2 of his guys heading toward the spot there, and he threw it up there hoping one of them could get it. Now remember, the Red Raiders have some time. You see Josh, he looks left, takes a couple of steps, looks back toward the middle, and sees his guys there, and they did, Randy. I think Carter, or rather Brown, had a real good shot at that, but they collided. Now remember, South Point has some timeouts left and a kicker with range.
Well, it'll be Reed slipping a tackle. He's got room into the secondary and is bumped down at about the 45-yard line. Charlie Fox on the tackle. And they'll stop the clock momentarily to move the chains. They had him wrapped up right there. It looked like Keller had him. He slipped out of the tackle, and then Fox had to finish him off with 31 seconds left. A couple of about 20 more yards, and they got a chance at a field goal here.
Now, we got a timeout called now, but I think Randy Keller may have collided with one of his own guys back there. It looked like a couple of wonders broke through. The Red Raiders are using a timeout here to stop the clock. But now remember, if they get to about the 30, that's roughly the range that B.J. Richmond has.
I go back to those last 2 pass plays that were incomplete for the Wonders, and even the Belmont fans were kind of going, whoa. They did not know that Lee had that range, maybe perhaps in the arm. And
throwing across his body on one of them and got it into the end zone easily.
They kind of held their breath collectively here on the Belmont South Point sidelines.
Well, you got to think, if you're a Red Raider fan, that they've dodged a couple of bullets. You had the Carter run called back. You had the overthrow when Jason Brown was well behind everybody. But then again, on the other hand, the Red Raider fans will probably say, yeah, but Carter didn't really catch that ball. There's Coach Ron Massey thinking, I wish we had those points.
Yeah. First down at the 46-yard line of South Point. 31 ticks to go. And Lowry, pressure, throws under pressure, got the receiver open, and this could be a foot race. Down the sidelines, bumped out of bounds, is Tiger Williams. He was the safety valve guy. D'Angelo Collins maybe kept him out of the end zone, and a couple of Wonders are shaken up back at the point of tackle. I tell you,
I think one of them is hurt. The other one was just checking on him. McCray was back there checking on his teammate. Look at this. All the Wonder guys were there, and they collided. That's exactly what happened, Randy. They ran into each other, and Lowry was able to get that one downfield with a guy hanging on him.
And we're not sure. That may be Basinger.
And that would be huge.
He's at the bottom of the pile there. They have been, here's Becky Shaw, the trainer out there. And with 22 seconds to go, we will take a timeout here in the first half at a South Point 10, A.L. Brown 7. Talking about, well, they won the bell a couple of weeks ago, but he had his bell rung. That is Chad Keller. Glad to see him off under his own power. He and Basinger and others kind of got in that sandwich there, beating each other up.
Lowry ducked and they collided.
Here's Reed off the gut. Wonders will stop him. McCray jumps on for good measure at about the 30-yard line.
And now they're going to burn another timeout, I believe, Randy, and this will get them into field goal range.
It will be about a 47, 46-yarder if that's what they want to do. They're going to say, well, with 16 seconds to go, Coach, maybe we can get a little bit closer. There's Lowry pleading his case.
They might want to try at least one more play, and I think they do have one timeout remaining, and you see the end of that play before, getting them just a little bit further in a field goal range. Remember, we mentioned last 2 weeks, Richmond has kicked field goals of 47 and 48 yards, so they are within his striking distance right now, but it does indeed look like, Randy, you're right, that they're going to try to run at least one more play to get a little closer.
Well, you get about 10 more yards. Boy, it makes a big difference. And will that 3 points make a big difference? Yes, indeed.
And sometimes there's no wind to speak of, by the way. And sometimes, you know, Randy, you think the other team is looking for you to try and just gain a few more. You might try to go over their heads.
Let's see what happens. Devin Lowry under center. Drops the football, and the Wonders will drop him for a loss. Back at about the 30-yard line.
He's going to be, depends on the spot, but I think they're going to put it like in the 31 or 32. Whoa, that's a kind spot, Randy.
Now they give him progress. Okay, he was right there, and then the pile went back.
But he put it inside the 30 for a second and then came back. I was going to say, I know he didn't get that far.
Cooler heads prevailed.
Yeah, somebody must have yelled at him down there and said, wait a minute.
Could have been Coach Massey from the top of the press box.
Well, you know, the way the field has been chewed up by the soccer team, we might be having trouble seeing the lines down there.
There you see our guy who likes to eat steak there, the defensive coordinator, Mr. Hollifield, Aubrey in there. And he's still a growing boy. What can we say?
Well, now with 9 seconds to go, you don't have any more time to waste. As you see Coach Massey standing up there, you got to go ahead and try it. So from here, it's going to be a 47-yarder. Remember, the last one was very low and just barely made it across.
But this has a good angle. It's between the hash marks straight away. 47-yarder by B.J. Richmond. Out alone to Brian McWhorter. Snap spot. Kick is up. And it is long enough. It is good. The heck with hang time and Arch. He drills it. 9 drivers.
Still 4 seconds left on the clock, but what a weapon he's been tonight. He's, right now, Randy, he's the difference in the game. Other than that, we go to the locker room tied at 7.
43 yards and now 47 yards for B.J. Richmond. And who's calling tonight?
Not those guys. Look at that. Check it out again here. We mentioned again, it almost looked like one of the Wonders got a finger on it, but he had enough to get it through, and he doesn't get them in the air very high, but man, he has some range.
And it was like, well, I do this every day.
Yeah. He's probably one of those guys who stands there in practice and makes them from about 60.
just a day at the office. So
Well,
they extend their lead to 13-7.
Well, you heard in the pregame interview with Steve Gant, Coach Devine was saying that Richmond puts it where we want it. And right now, what they don't want to do is hang it up and give Kannapolis a chance for a big return and to get momentum in the locker room. They'll kick it probably a squibber and kick it away from the Wonder deep backs.
And you look, you got some good hands up there on the kick team for Kannapolis. Be kind of a pooch in between zone there. And the one who's talking about lateraling that time. There's the lateral. And down the sidelines, look out. I'll tell you what, it was fun to watch. They almost broke it out. It's like, give it to Carter, you know. You take speed, you give it to Faster.
He's Calhoun the ball.
I think his nickname is Rocket, and we saw a little bit of a nitrous there on that kick return. It's a great half of football. 2 fantastic teams, and they're ranked to where they should be, 2nd and 3rd in the state. Halftime, 13-7, Red Raiders over the Wonders. It is halftime, and South Point leading 13-7 over the Wonders. The difference, a couple of field goals by B.J. Richmond. Let's take a look at some numbers from the first half, Woody, as we check out some unofficial stats as compiled by Steve Gant.
Well, fairly even all the way down, especially in that total yardage category. One that jumps out at you is penalties. Kannapolis has 4 and South Point has none, and one of those penalties took 6 points off the board for Kannapolis, so that has been critical so far, and only a couple of passes to this point for South Point. The Wonders, meanwhile, 5 out of 9 in the passing attack so far in this contest.
And no turnovers by either team, so nobody got the advantage there. As far as maybe looking at some of the key plays in the first half, we'll get a chance to roll them as you see the capacity or overflow crowd here at Lineberger Stadium tonight. Here's the first touchdown.
Nice drive, and then a sneak at the end of it by Lowry for the first touchdown for South Point. Then coming back the other way, Josh Lee flushed out of the pocket, looking downfield, throws it off his back foot, hangs it up just enough for Carter to reel it in for the Wonders touchdown. And then right before the half, a long field goal, a 47-yarder by Richmond to make the score what it is now, 13-7. And that leads us into our keys, Randy. A couple of the things we talked about before the game have indeed come true. Early momentum, South Point seemed to get that, but then the Wonders settled down. Defensive pressure, you have to give the edge to South Point. Josh Lee has been flushed from the pocket quite a few times tonight. And then special teams, the edge definitely goes to South Point with those two long field goals, a 43-yarder and a 47-yarder by B.J. Richmond to put them up by 6. That's the difference in the game right now.
Well, the Wonders had led 7-3 at one time in this game, and were driving in the closing minute of the first half. Of course, and 2 passes incomplete. One, I think Lee surprised himself knowing that Carter or Brown was that wide open and overthrew his receiver by a couple of yards, and he had everybody beat by about 15 yards down to the goal line. And then on 4th down, they go with 2 receivers in the end zone, and they
they bumped into each other. They really did. I think it's been a first half of missed opportunities. South Point had a nice drive, and then Kannapolis stopped them on 4th down. The Wonders had a touchdown called back on a penalty, an overthrown ball on a short touchdown, and another one that got into their receivers' hands and they couldn't hang on to it.
So the Wonders will kick it away to the Red Raiders to start the second half. There's Lowry, the outstanding Shrine Bowl player from the Red Raiders, warming up on the sidelines. It'll be Philip Stowe along with Tiger Williams, the 2 deep guys. There's Anthony ready to get the second half underway. And this one going to Williams at about the 3, and he falls down, picks it up, and the Wonders will bury him inside the 10-yard line. I was thinking his knee may have hit the ground. That would have been even more disastrous down there.
But he did. Williams managed to pick up a few yards, Randy. It looked like for a moment the Wonders were going to have him stopped inside the 5, and he was able to work his way ahead for a few yards there after picking it up. The Wonders kind of came down frothing at the mouth that time and just knew they were going to get a good shot at him, and he was able to duck under him.
So let's see what happens here with both teams to start the second half. 1st down and 10 at the 8-yard line for South Point. Their own 8. Reed is the single setback, and he will get the football. Just trying to get some running room, and he buries his head and goes out to about the 11-yard line that time. Pick up of about 2, maybe 3. Basinger on the bottom of the pile defensively for the Wonders.
And they just come right up the gut at you here, Randy. One of the things we've been noticing is, you mentioned in the first half, we haven't called Duran Lipscomb's name that much, and talking with some of the coaches, they're running away from him. Keep an eye on where 41, the linebacker for Kannapolis, Lipscomb lines up, and most often they're running away from wherever he is.
They'll have 1 wide receiver split to the right on 2nd down. Lowry keeps it. They got him at the line of scrimmage. Basinger tripped him up, but he did fall forward for a couple of more, out to about the 19, maybe 18-yard line. So it's 3rd down. Here's key right now for the Wonder defense. 3 and out would be like a vacation.
It really would. You need momentum here early in the second half. There's Lipscomb getting the play call in from the sidelines. Now, he's going to be on the left side of the Wonder defense, the right side of the South Point offense, and in all likelihood, they'll go around to the left away from him.
3rd down and a long 2. Lowry option, the ball is loose, and the Wonders are going to pick it up. Speaking of Lipscomb, how about them apples? Number 41 picks it up inside the 5-yard line, Woody.
And a nice little roll to almost get himself into the end zone that time at the end. Of course, when his knee hits, he's down, but this play is just blown up here. Basinger helped break it up, and the pitch went awry because Williams wasn't where Lowry expected him to be, and Lipscomb, as we mentioned, speed kills. That's a guy who makes too many plays to be kept out of things all night.
He disrupted the pitch from the quarterback Lowry and got the fumble, and now he sets his offense up 1st and goal at, well, they're going to call it just inside, when they say the 4-yard line on the scoreboard, we're going to say just inside the 4.
When he rolled and his knee touched, that's where he was officially down.
Lipscomb is the fullback here out of the straight I, and it will be Caldwell shaking and baking, and touchdown Wonders.
And listen,
go down.
Listen to the Kannapolis side now.
Well, look at him over there. Mercy.
This is definitely playoff football.
The great teams take advantage of the turnovers, and in one play, they stick it in the end zone and tie this ball game.
Now, we heard a stat unofficially that South Point had fumbled 33 times this year and lost about 13 of them, but we mentioned that this type of offense leads itself to put the ball on the ground some.
Out of the hole to Fox, David Henry, the tie to try to give the Wonders the lead. It's up. It's long enough, and Kannapolis is back on top by a single digit. 10:32 to go. Third period. We've got a good one going here at Lineberger Stadium. Coach Massey taking a deep drink of that.
That might be the first one he's had. you don't open up the water bottle until you got something going your way.
It might be taking a deep. You got to breathe too, so that might be the first time he's breathed all night too.
What intensity!
Wonders who led at 7-3, now back on top, 14-13. Anybody's game though in the battle between number 2 and number 3 in the state, the number 1 and the number 8 seed in the West. Second round of the 3A high school playoffs. You couldn't ask for much better. It will be McWhirter at about the 5. And some good yardage. Good return. Out near the 30-yard line. Clifford White on the coverage for the Wonders.
Let's take a look again at the fumble if we can, Randy. You'll see some penetration, and it'll kind of disrupt things. Lowry will turn around and look for Williams, but he's not where he thought he was. The pitch a little bit low, and they may have gotten in there and gotten a hand on his arm as well when he tried to pitch that one. And Lipscomb, as we mentioned, the guy who normally makes a lot of big plays, they were trying to keep it away from him. Couldn't do it all night.
Kannapolis maybe sending a few more folks here as Reed gets the call, and the Wonders will stuff that at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a yard progress to the 30. And Kannapolis' defense is just pumped up right now. Look at them.
They really are, and the crowd is pumped up, and that's getting the players excited as well. And you heard that roar, and you would think that would be on this side where we are on the home side, but that roar came from the far side. The fans are having their own contest now to see who can yell the loudest.
Think it'll be anybody with a normal voice in these two cities tomorrow.
This is great.
2nd and 9 at the 30-yard line. Lowry. Stop and nothing. A loss. Jarrell McCray there. Look at the 6'7", outstanding defensive player for the Wonders. And
he's been waiting to hit somebody all night. Only trouble was he kept hitting guys who didn't have the ball. Well, that time he got his chance. And look at there, Lipscomb in again.
It's kind of like opening up a Christmas present. So I got number 5 again.
Finally, he has the ball.
Yeah, there's a present in there.
And now the officials are taking a timeout. The Wonders are down there trying to excite their crowd.
McCray, 6'7", 207-pound senior, and he says, I know I'm going to play basketball, but I'm not ready to play just yet. 3rd down and 10.
Listen.
Lowry to the air, going deep, and he's got a man open. Complete at the 30, at the 20, brought down from behind inside the 10-yard line. Making the catch, Drew Devine. He had a step on the coverage, and just like that, the Red Raiders come roaring back down the field. We've got a flag down after the tackle, so it could be assessed a dead ball foul against the Wonders. We'll wait and see.
Devine a little bit shaken up, Randy, but it's against the Red Raiders, and let's see. It depends on where they mark it from. Now the flag is way down here at the other end on about the 5-yard line, and now they're discussing the options down there with the Wonders as to what they can do, but this is going to be a huge break. What a time to get the first penalty of the game for the Red Raiders.
Here's the call by referee Allen, clipping the call.
Tit for tat.
And the Wonders obviously going to take that. And that will be tacked on.
But, you know, Randy, we talked with Coach Massey about what a strong ground game they have in this option attack. They go option, they run, they run, they run, and just when you think they're not going to throw it, they burn you.
It was Devine who had a step
on Gibson.
Yep. Here we see it again. It was 3rd and 10, too. They had them dead to rights, had momentum going their way, and then the big play. Well, great teams make those big plays. It is first down and 10 for the Red Raiders at the Wonder 15-yard line. Lowry to Reed, stopped after about a yard. I think the Wonders have figured out that play defensively.
But the problem is, Randy, is they kept getting the defensive backs sneaking up to come in and support that run. And when they got them coming up enough, they threw it over them. You remember Coach Massey told us, don't get to thinking that Lowry can't throw the ball, because he told us he has a gun, and he showed it to you there.
Okay, a run on the play at the 15-yard line. 2nd and 9. Single set is Reed. Here's Lowry. He'll give it to Reed. He slants off the left side and almost broke at the distance. It looked like Charlie Fox on the tackle inside the 10, down to about the 6. That'll set up 3rd down and a couple. They're in 4-down territory. They're definitely in field goal territory. McCray trying to fire up the defense there. As there you see the time. Wonders leading by 1, but that's in jeopardy right now as we go inside 8 minutes. 3rd and a long one. Lowry options. The ball is batted. It's picked up. Well, it's bobbled. It's still loose, and it's still loose. Anybody's football. Wonders have it, I believe, at the 31-yard line. It's 41 Durant Lipscomb with the fumble recovery. Look at the Wonder sidelines.
And Randy, I don't think there was anybody on the field who didn't have a shot at that one.
It looked like, was that Lee Basinger trying to pick it up?
That looked like NFL Follies out there. The ball was bouncing every which way. I mean, at least 5 guys had a good shot at getting that ball. Watch it here.
He actually got a hand on the tidbit. There we go. And kicked it a few points.
It was Brown who broke the play up
okay.
and knocked it away, and they're still batting it around, and there's Lipscomb, Johnny on the spot again. What a huge, huge break.
Brown was going to pick it up and go the distance. At any rate, the Wonders with the break, they have the football now at the 31-yard line. Play fake, Josh Lee, good protection, going deep, on the pattern, it's up, and it's going to be intercepted. Here is Devine with the pick.
And one of the Wonders is hurt.
The intended receiver, that is Carter, and I think he's just a little bit more disappointed. Well, he maybe have a Charlie horse of something there, the way he come down on it. So turnover for turnover.
Now the Wonders going for a haymaker here, Randy. They think we've got the momentum. Let's see if we can throw a big knockout blow. But excellent, excellent coverage back there by Drew Devine to pick that one off. And now we're going back and forth and back and forth. This is like a heavyweight fight. Now the officials are going to stop play.
And get this, Josh Lee, only his 2nd interception of the year, and only the first one since the first game of the season. Can you
And his
believe
first
that?
pass of the season was picked off, and none since.
Here we go deep, and this one looks like it's going to be, well, it had a chance to be picked off. Chris Gibson back on the coverage. He's a little bit upset. Him and Devine going at it again. That's been a great battle all night long.
And we were just a fingernail away, Randy, from 3 straight plays and 3 straight turnovers, and the crowd is tired now. Good gracious.
And we still got 7 minutes and 16 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter.
I mean, this feels like a state championship game, doesn't it? I mean, it's amazing.
I don't know if they had this much noise in 97 at the championship game.
Amazing.
Of course, that was a one-sided affair. Wonders winning that one, going away. 2nd and 10 for the Red Raiders at their own 42-yard line. Lowry to Reed, and he's stopped. McCray rides him down at about the 45-yard line. Also Keller in on the bottom for the Wonders.
Well, the key on that last big play, Randy, is you see Reed coming up the middle, and Jarrell McCray says, "Gotcha," and puts him down. But Gibson did not bite on the run that time. He realized he got burned to play before, and now he's going to have to play it a little more honestly.
Well, the defense needs to stop here to restore some sort of normalcy to this game, I believe. Conventional means, anyway. Lowry with a play fake. He's going to keep it. And here he goes. Eludes Lipscomb. Flags are down. He's going to be short of the 1st down, as it looked like Lee Basinger got there initially, and the clip going to be the preliminary call against South Point.
No, it's a hold. One of the Wonders turned to pursue and looked like he got hit in the back, but maybe they had a hold of him by the jersey as well.
I think they're going to take the penalty, yeah.
Because Lowry wanted to pass and saw a hole and took off.
Well, you know what's going up here when the referees got the gloves on.
Yeah.
They're usually tough folks.
He's probably got a couple of layers of striped shirts on under there, too. You know, if you're a referee, you can't just wear a regular old T-shirt. You got to have striped ones.
I know some animals molt. Do zebras?
I don't know.
Lose their stripes.
Huge play here now. The Wonders.
3rd and 16, back at the 36-yard line. Straight drop, flushed out of the pocket is Lowry. He's got some room in front of him. They've got the angle on it. Can they get him stopped? Run out of bounds. And no flag. The Red Raiders want a late hit, but that looked pretty legit to me at the 49-yard line.
Yeah, nice tackle at the end by Jason Brown. And the Red Raider coaching staff went nuts over there, jumping up and down, wanting a penalty after that play. And doesn't look like Lowry's too thrilled. Look at it again here as he's flushed out of the pocket, headed toward the sidelines, and then here comes Brown. That's close, but I don't think that's close enough to throw the flag in a tight ball game like this.
That's close enough for the Red Raiders. In fact, they're going to go for it here. It's 4th down and 4.
Well, they may not have had they not got such a huge run, yeah.
Well, keep in mind they got Lowry in there now. He can take the snap. He's the safety valve there behind from B.J. Richmond. Well, it's a line drive snap, wasn't it? Richmond trying to angle it to the sidelines, and it falls out of bounds at the 24-yard line. So not a particularly long kick by Richmond, but the Wonder defense does their job. Give their team the football back.
Yeah, I think Richmond, Randy, all he was trying to do there is ensure that there was not going to be a run back, and he was angling for the sidelines all the way.
A little respect maybe for the special teams of the Wonders as Josh Lee, the senior, leads off the offense again.
Well, Randy, we talked about in the pregame, and again we reviewed it at halftime, that defensive pressure stat, and the Wonders are starting to have a little bit more of that go their way.
They give it to, well, looks like Johnson is checked in.
Did the ball come loose?
Rock Johnson got about a yard. No, I think he's just beating and banging like a pinball down there. Johnson up from the JV is a sophomore, so
but he runs hard.
Is Coach Massey, he's playing a lot of folks, so those fresh legs will tell in the 4th quarter.
And they've been doing it all year, Randy. They've got 3, 4, 5 guys. They rotate frequently in that backfield. Listen to this crowd.
Just over the 25-yard line, 2nd and 9. Here we go to Caldwell. What a hole this time. And Eric with a good run out across the 30 to the 32-yard line. A little short of the first down by a couple of yards, but boy, he had a good hole.
One of the smallest guys on the field, Randy, Chris Carter, watch 16, 140 pounds, right there making a good block to enable Caldwell to turn that into some positive yardage. Great work by Chris Carter.
What really a bone-crushing block. He just kind of got in the way and held your man. That's all you need to do.
Exactly right. So many times players think you got to knock somebody down, but all you got to do is delay them.
It's 3rd down and 2 at the 33-yard line. Quick pitch this time. Carter eludes a tackle. 1st down. Eludes another man, and darn it, if he'd have kept his balance, I believe he could have taken it.
And another great block that time, Randy, on that right side by Jason Brown, number 5, to help spring Carter around the end.
I don't think I've seen a player that has the potential.
Watch 5. See that? That sprung him right there. He had a nice block on Philip Stowe, the linebacker there, to get Carter around the end. And that's the play that has been so effective for the Wonders for the past month or so, and we haven't seen it much tonight.
Johnson is the setback on 1st down at the 49-yard line. And it'll be Jason Brown. The ball is loose, and I believe the Red Raiders may have got it back. Let's see. Battle is on. I don't see any green shirts under there, so South Point's got to have the football.
You would think. They do have it.
There's the first turnover fumble-wise for Kannapolis here in the 2nd half.
Boy, we go the whole first half, Randy, with no turnovers, and now we've got 4 in 1 quarter. I mean, that's amazing.
Actually, it was about 7.5 minutes worth. Oh, man.
Take a look at it again. He'll just get a good pop. You'll see him trying to come back as Jason Brown, and right there, looked like the guy who may have knocked it loose was Jordy Rice.
Here comes South Point at the 48-yard line of the Wonders. 1st down and 10. Reed off the gut, banging, beat, bruising. 36-yard line, 1st down, Red Raiders, and a flag at the point of tackle.
And it might be a face mask. Terry Collins got him down, but did he yank on the face mask to do it?
Well, let's see the call. Personal foul, face mask. Is it the big one or the little one? That is the call.
I think it's going to be the little one, but at any rate, it keeps South Point moving down the field. Let's see if we can get a look at it. Look at Reed just running through guys, and I don't think that's the big one. I think he just gave him the 5-yard variety there. He signaled that.
And it's first and 10 at the 32-yard line of the Wonders. It'll be Reed again, and they stop him after about 2 that time. Jarrell McCray, first guy in for the Wonder defense.
You know, they list McCray, Randy, number 6 as a linebacker, but more often than not, he's going to line up at a defensive end position there, a stand-up defensive end where he can go back or come in, and he's been making some big plays all night.
Keep in mind, South Point has fumbled the football twice tonight. The Wonders have turned one into a touchdown. And
now they fumbled it a few more times than that, have been fortunate to get it back, yeah.
They've lost it, I should say, twice here in this quarter. Here they go up the gut. Reed is going to hold, and he may have a touchdown. Yes, sir.
He is a freight train coming through there, Randy. He just had a huge hole and came storming down the middle.
Rashad Reed gives his team the lead as it seesaws back the other way. And now the Red Raiders on top 19-14.
They may be going for 2 here, Randy.
Yeah, I don't see Richmond in there, so.
He was, and then he came back out.
So they have elected to go for the 2-point conversion. Reed stays in as the fullback. And it'll be Lowry keeping it, trying to get around the options out, and they'll have the 2. The last minute perfect execution to Brian McWhirter, who took the pitch at the last minute. Lowry did what he couldn't do and let the defensive man finally make the commitment, and they are successful, and it gives the Red Raiders their biggest lead of the night. 21-14 with 3:26 to go, third period. Well, if you think this game's good so far, wait, we've still got, what, over 15 minutes to go, folks?
My goodness, Randy. I mean, boy, the first half was pretty intense, but the third quarter turned it up about 8 notches.
It was 13-6 at the half in favor of South Point. Here's an end-over-ender, angling to the sidelines, and Brown will pick it up at about the 5-yard line. Now it's a foot race. It gets away from one man and is crunched at about the 18-yard line. Kind of that in-between zone. Jason didn't really know whether to let it go out of bounds and you take it way upfield or take your chances and it might go dead at about the 1-yard line. So,
well, he did what he thought he had to do, Randy. That was probably the good call, but he had an awful long way to go.
Well, right now, the Wonders see the momentum shift back to the Red Raiders side, and Josh Lee and company has once again in the backfield is Rock Johnson. They send Caldwell in motion, and they go with the cross puck. Here's Carter. He's Mr. Everything tonight. He'll get out to the 22. Tiger Williams on the coverage for the defense. But if Carter gets any kind of a hole, he gets those shoulders squared.
He was just not able to turn this one to the outside, Randy, like he likes to do. Good job by Tiger Williams staying home to seal that one off. Carter's going to look for that sidelines and use the speed, but he gets a nice gain nonetheless. Actually, the Wonder offense has been moving the ball pretty effectively, but they've been stymied by those 2 turnovers.
Gain of 4 on the play. Well, we'll say 5. Second and 5. Lee with a play fake. Looks a little short pass this time, and somehow he held on and made the catch. A nice bit of a good job by Eric Caldwell that time to hold on to it near the first down marker.
Let's see, did he get it? Yes, he did. Nice concentration here. Again, Lee rolling out, sees his man, and great concentration because that was a big pop on Caldwell, and he did a nice job to hang on to that ball.
First time tonight we've seen Lee maybe go to that intermediate pass, that little short one over the middle, and that's been there. And the little slants, those 5 to 7 yard varieties. And they can be just as dangerous as well. From the 27-yard line of the Wonders, they go to Rock Johnson as he bangs and carries a guy for about 3 or 4 out to the 33-yard line. Well, that's more than 3 or 4, isn't it?
Yeah, and I really think Rock gives them a different dimension, Randy. Most of the Wonder backfield guys are quick guys, finesse guys, speed guys, but Rock, just like the name, is a rock, and he wants to get up in there and bang.
I think you called it right. Maybe Coach Massey and the coaches say, well, we can run on these guys. If we had somebody, a big guy.
Well, you just want to give them a different look sometimes.
Keep them honest. Play fake. Here's Lee on the option. Pitches out. Here's Carter around the corner and out of bounds. It'll be a first down at the 44-yard line. Jeremiah Riddle solved it that time, but Carter knew he had to look at it.
He is so fast. It's amazing. Pitch is kind of high. Chris does a good job to reel it in because it hit him in the face mask, and he, again, was about 2 steps away from taking that one to the house. He has some blinding speed.
Not have I seen the likes of a Wonder running back. Maybe Nick Maddox was the last guy who could break it literally every time he touched the ball. He had that potential, and Carter has that potential. Here's Caldwell. He's got some pretty good potential. He'll carry it for 3 or 4. The ball is loose, and let's see who's got it. Does South Point recover another one? We'll wait and see.
There's a big fight down there. Let's see.
It'll be second down, I believe. I think.
Yeah, it looked like one of the Wonder linemen was right there, and it bounced up into his hands.
Rock got it.
And then it was just Rock was almost that size. That may be why he fooled me, but it's just a fight down there. Then watch it coming back the other way. They want to get him flowing to the right, come back left, and he may have already been down when that one came loose, Randy.
Well, that was a close call. The Wonders catch a break here as they have it out to the 47-yard line.
Both teams are showing that they can move the ball if they can keep from turning it over.
Inside a minute to go, third period. Second down and 8. Lee slips, keeps it. He's got the first down and buries the shoulder in the head and goes into Red Raider territory at the 44-yard line.
Smart play by Lee, Randy. He wanted to get out there on the option to have the decision to make to whether to pitch it or keep it. And once he slipped, he knew he was just going to have to duck his head and go, and he made a nice gain out of it.
And the thing about it is the Red Raiders defense was thinking he was going to option or something all the time, and the lane was there.
My goodness, what a game.
Probably the final play of the third period coming up here. First down at the South Point 43. Quick pitch, Carter with a block. Outruns the folks to the corner. Flags are down. Carter spinning and is punished at about the 21-yard line, but that one will come back. It's still pretty to watch, though.
And there was almost a fight down on the sidelines as well as some players were pushing and shoving and blocking. It is going to come back. As you no doubt could tell from the reaction of the South Point crowd.
As Coach Massey said, as long as we don't beat ourselves, we got a good chance of beating these guys. And right now, they're kind of beating themselves a little bit.
Again, Randy, this penalty is going to be after Carter was already well upfield.
I think I would call the team over to the sidelines and say, listen, when 16
is gone.
Yeah, if you see his jersey, don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't block anymore.
Unless you're in front of him.
And once Chris gets a step on you, anybody that's behind him is in all likelihood not going to be able to run him down, especially not from 5, 10, 15 yards back. So there's no sense in hitting him at that point. But a lot of times those linemen, they're taught to maintain those blocks.
Instead of first down at the South Point 25-yard line, it's first and 26 at the Wonder 39. How big that one penalty is.
Blitz.
Lee picks it up, it's batted down, he catches his own football, and it will go down. That is actually a loss on the pass play. It is a completion. I think Josh, if he thought about it again, but that's just reaction that time. If he thought about it again, just let it go to the ground. That will do it in the third period. Hey, we got some more excitement. Put 12 more minutes up. The fourth quarter coming up here at Lineberger Stadium in Belmont. Welcome back. Our game of the week has turned out maybe be the game of the year as the Red Raiders have swapped the leads with the Wonders a couple of times, and they lead it right now, 21-14.
Key right here, Randy, is don't think in terms of first down on this play. Get enough of it back if you can so that it's a reasonable chance on third down.
Second, and there you see the yardage, about a third of the field. And they will go up the middle, nothing there as the Red Raider defense waiting on Dale King, who shows the football for the first time tonight. Anthony Hambrick in there to make the hit.
Right there, 71, stayed home waiting for King to come at him and made the play.
Well, it's 3rd and 33. What do you got in the playbook, Coach? I don't think you have anything. Nobody designs plays like that.
Well, one of the options you can try to do here is try and isolate Carter and let him use his speed.
Let's see what happens. They'll send Carter in motion this time. It rolls with all day to throw. Pops it upfield, and he's got Edwards open. Complete, far short of the first down up there midfield. But that will give the Wonders back a little field position for their punt team.
Exactly. That's all they were looking for at that particular point. Nice grab by Edwards, who's also a backup quarterback. And again, Josh Lee on the rollout. I don't think he's had a straight drop all night.
Put it right where he needed to do it. For Edwards, his 7th catch on the year. As you see the time remaining in the 4th period, Tiger Williams, the deep back, inside the 20-yard line. Michael Anthony, who's done a great job handling the football tonight, back to punt. And once again, South Point peels for the return. This one, another shank, and it will be out of bounds inside the 35-yard line. So maybe trying to do too much with the football is Michael Anthony. That's a couple of times tonight he's tried to.
Well, his kickoffs have been excellent, and his first punt was very good. But since then, I think you're right, Randy. He's trying to just kick the daylights out of it, maybe trying to do a little too much instead of just his natural motion.
Yeah, trying to get him, pin him out for the return. You got 10 other guys out there, young man. Here comes South Point. First down and 10 at the 33. Lowry options out around the corner, and this one, oh, what a hit on the corner. Oh, that hurt D'Angelo Collins coming up, and that's a Collard.
And he hurt him, I think, Randy. The Raider ball carrier is still down over there.
Looks like number 25, and that's Ryan McWhorter. He had to hurt something here.
It may be just a cramp. Let's hope that's all it is.
He got him and just bent him back.
Now the Wonders and the Raiders have turned up the defensive intensity by leaps and bounds here in the second half, and they are just throwing haymakers at each other. Here comes McWhorter coming around right there, and then coming up is Collins, and whoa, his leg just got bent up under it there. But now he's trotting off the field under his own power, and that's good to see.
Yeah, glad to see that. That could have been a serious injury. No, well, actually a couple of yard pickup up to the 34-yard line. 2nd and 8 now for the high-powered offense of South Point's Red Raiders. Lowry around the corner, shakes the tackle, and then runs into a wall of white and green over there after a couple of yards. He'll get up to about the 37, maybe the 38-yard line. They still have 3rd and long coming up.
Jerome McCray had a shot at him right here and couldn't quite pull him down. And finally running up to finish the play was McClure.
Who's been in on a lot of tackles tonight.
And again, Randy, you see the consistency of what they're trying to do, running away from whatever side that Lipscomb is on.
Now the play comes in with Drew Devine, coach's son. 3rd and 5. Devine goes split to the bottom of your screen, out of your picture here. At the 38-yard line. Lowry pulls it back, keeps it. And depending on the spot, I think he's going to be a little short of the first down.
But they may go.
Yeah, you're right there at the 43-yard line. But if you don't make it, well, you give the other team great field position. And we still got over 9 minutes to go in regulation. So do you chance it? We'll see.
Take a look at it again here. Coming around the end. Lipscomb got there, but his job was to stop the back. And then Lowry took it around the end, and we are going to have our first appearance for the chain gang.
And this will give...
this will satisfy their union.
Yeah. They work overtime, too. Scratching the chin. They don't have to worry about it, I don't think.
He didn't get it.
Oh, yeah, he did. Oh, man. 3 inches?
Maybe. Well, now you're faced with a decision if you're Coach Devine. But the way his offense has been going, you got to think they can get that amount for the first down.
Well, he's looking over the sidelines. A decision has not been made yet. Well, I think it has. Devine comes in with a play. It's got to be a sneak here.
Let's take a look at Lipscomb, number 41. Now, his responsibility is to get back there and stop the ball carrier, but then he comes back after that to make the tackle on Lowry. He didn't get it.
I don't know.
The ball's loose. The ball's loose, Randy. I think they got it back, but they won't have the first down.
And Chad Keller, Lee Basinger say the ball was down.
What a huge, huge stop.
And the fumble was on the play. It was recovered by South Point. And if that's the case, they will get the football. But then again, you know, Lowry fumbled. One of his teammates recovered. But was the whistle blown dead? Or did it blow the play dead?
Are they asking for another measurement?
I think
Take a
so.
look.
It's
They've
gonna
had
be short.
trouble. They've had trouble with the exchange a few times tonight, Randy.
he was on the
in there.
ground.
Yeah, he didn't go forward at all.
He was on the ground when he moved the ball forward. They're going to measure it. At any rate, if they don't get it, they don't get it, regardless of what happens with the advancement of the
Yeah, he's not even close.
Lee Basinger was right on the spot there. He said, we got it. So that's a huge break there for the Wonders, and now it's time to capitalize. 8:53 left in the 4th period.
They absolutely have to get points, Randy. This may be the best starting field position they've had all night, with the exception of the fumble.
Coach Massey and his coaching staff up top at the 42-yard line of South Point. Sends Caldwell in motion. They fake the pitch, go to Carter, and he'll squiggle forward for about 2.
Nice spin back move by Carter because South Point did a good job of sealing that play off. And he knows he's not going to overpower anybody, so when he feels a contact, he spins away from it and falls forward for a couple of yards.
Gain of 2 on the play. 2nd and 8. And just inside the 4-yard line. 8:20 to go, 4th period. Carter in motion. He'll get the quick pitch, looking for a block. What a block he got from Caldwell, and what a move. He spins out, breaks a tackle, comes down the sideline, still on his feet. Look at this. Chris Carter is making it happen, folks, inside the 15-yard line. Michael McWhirter, finally, I think everybody had a shot at him that time.
I mean, he was a weeble that time. He wobbled, but he just wouldn't fall down. They were banging him all over the place, and he just kept going and kept going and kept going.
Cat with 9 lives. He used about 7 of them on that run.
Watch him here. Let's see how many guys get a shot at him here, Randy. Nice block out there by Caldwell. There's 1, 2, 3.
And he's down here, but no, he's not down. Well, he should be down there.
Man, that's amazing.
Big run by Carter. Johnson. Now Carter in motion. They give it to Dale King, and he'll carry for about 3. You got to give it to that fullback to keep everybody honest. And keep fullback happy, most important thing, right?
Well, I think the Wonders are trying to play a little bit of that thunder and lightning scheme here. They come at you with Carter the Lightning, and then come back up the middle with Rock Johnson and King to pound away at him in the middle.
Or as his teammate affectionately is nicknamed him, the Rocket. Now, you got to be pretty quick to be named the Rocket.
Well, he is.
2nd and 8. Wonders in the red zone. Quick toss. Carter cuts back and will beat a sea of red that time at about the 10-yard line.
The slip hurt him there, Randy. He didn't get a chance to set his feet and explode through the hole that time. He was fortunate to get back what he did when he slipped right there.
Got back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a little bit. Let's say, you're going to say just outside the 10-yard line. Here's a key 3rd down. Carter is shaking up a little bit, but he's a gamer. He's wanting to stay in. You see the defensive huddle.
Well, you got to think in terms of all 4 downs here if you're Kannapolis, Randy, with 6.5 minutes to go. You definitely go if you don't get it.
3rd and 8 just outside the 10-yard line. Listen to the fans. And Josh Lee will burn a timeout. Didn't like what he seen, or maybe the offense wasn't particularly in sync. So we have a timeout. 6 minutes, 18 seconds left in the fourth period. Back in just a minute. As we come back, 3rd and 8, just over the 10-yard line of South Point. Wonders with a big play of the game here. Carter in motion. Here's Lee with a play fake, looking zone, going over the middle. He's got a man complete. Caldwell, touchdown, Wonders. Well, they fooled him with a pass that time, darn it.
They sure did, Randy. They had been going to that misdirection, coming back on the end around for Carter again and again and again. That time they faked it. South Point went for it, and Caldwell found some room in the middle.
Well, this side of the stadium quieted down, but the other side erupted on that play.
Boy, this is just an amazing game.
And now, David Henry in to try to tie this game.
I don't think this crowd can take free football tonight now, can they?
I don't know if I can.
They may have to call some extra ambulances in here.
Snap, spot, kick, on its way, long enough, and it is good. It is tied. 6:12 to go in regulation. It's a new ball game.
There's Coach Massey, and you know the official, Randy, who was under the goalpost where, he almost waved it off. You're right. Now here's the touchdown. They fake coming up to King. Everybody goes that way, and Carter back across the middle, and he's wide open.
2 touchdown passes tonight for Josh Lee. That gives him 13 on the year.
Look at that. Coming right into your living room is Caldwell.
And the Wonders have gone. Like I said, they went to the run that time. But, you know, that pass is there. The passing plays, I believe they can score via the airways.
This is one of those games, Randy, where it's a shame that somebody's going to lose here because these are clearly 2 of the best teams in the West.
I think what they need to do is maybe give one the state championship trophy tonight and one the runner-up after this game.
This is one that ought to be a state semifinal game.
Philip Stowe, along with Tiger Williams, are the deep guys.
Now, Anthony has been doing an excellent job on his kicks tonight. High and deep, giving his coverage team a lot of opportunity to get down there.
Oh, well, there were 6 minutes to go in the contest. Both these teams probably can put about 3 more on the board each, you know, the way this one's going tonight. 21 all. This one not particularly deep. One of the up guys at the 15-yard line. Wonders with containment that time. Kick coverage. He got it right down there just long enough. And Anthony, the guy kicked off.
He's done that a few times. It's amazing that the kicker is the first guy down there.
I guess he has a better idea of where it's going. Short, long, in between.
And look at the Wonder players trying to get the fans on their side fired up, as if they need any help.
I guess it's kind of like you score, now we got to come back, shut them down. That gives us that momentum. That says something. Well, shut them down is something that, you know, easier said than done.
Every time somebody's gotten the momentum, the other team has come right back and taken it away.
That's a great two great football teams here tonight. Lowry. Well, they got him that time. McCray and McClure, the M&M boys.
Finally, again, McCray. He's been hitting him all night, but he's only had the ball a couple of times when he's done it. Now look at that.
I would have swore Reed had the football that time, but Lowry elected to keep it.
And give some credit to Keller as well for breaking through there.
Loss back to the 22-yard line. Sets up 2nd down and 13.
Think these guys are going to have any trouble sleeping tonight?
No, both these teams are going to lay it all out tonight. Here's Lowry, looking, going deep, and this one way overthrown. Coverage that time. Just didn't. He had some pressure coming in.
I think that's the key, Randy. He was trying to go for a short drop and just hang it up there and let his man run under it, but I think he threw it a little quicker than even he wanted to because there was some extreme pressure up the middle.
Coach Massey's thinking now, boy, if we can hold him here, get the ball back, and take 5 minutes off the clock and score and win the ball game, and don't give him a chance to run it back.
But remember last time the Wonders had him pinned 3rd and long, you saw Lowry make a great run and get him close where they could try it on 4th.
3rd 13, Lowry. Hands off the corner, knocked to the ground, and it was that guy, number 6, Jarrell McCray, who has come to play tonight.
He really has, Randy. McCorder was trying to get by him. McCray had a full head of steam coming at him and was able to reach back and get a leg. See that? He almost went by him, but McCray was able to slam on the brakes and get a leg to pull him down.
That will force, we think, Richmond's on the punt. And Jason Brown is back inside. Back at about the Wonder 45-yard line. Does Kannapolis peel for the return, and they come after it. The ball is loose. Mishandled snap. Richmond gets it off. It's blocked. Wonders will recover inside the 10-yard line, Woody. Special teams coming to the top now.
Amazing. And let's see who came out of there with it.
Looked like 31 for the Wonders, and that was Fernando. Boy, are you looking marvelous, Edwards.
You look marvelous. And the key is the bad snap. And trying to recover it is Richmond. He runs back, but by that time, too many white shirts, including Lipscomb, and right there's Fernando.
Boy, he is feeling marvelous. The Wonders now with a chance. They're in field goal range right now. It's at the 6-yard line. Special teams, the difference, and little mistakes, and that was a mistake.
Right now, the big key, Randy, is wrap the ball up.
Power eye offense. McCray. You've got Lipscomb and Caldwell in the backfield. Now they'll send McCray in motion. They give it to Caldwell. Up the gut, inside the 5. Touchdown Wonders!
What a tremendous hole. What a tremendous hole, Randy. That may be the biggest hole in the middle all night long.
They call jumbo heavy that time.
I mean, South Point has been stuffing that play pretty much all night tonight, and that time there was just nobody home for Caldwell.
Not since maybe perhaps a game we did back here on Metro 7 years ago, the state semifinal game and the Shelby-Kannapolis game. Have we seen one this intense where it went back and forth and Kannapolis prevailed in that one? Here's the kick by Henry. It's up, and the Wonders have come storming back from 7 down to 7 up, and we've got 4:35 to go. We watch the touchdown.
Watch the hole. Watch the gap open up for Caldwell. Look at that, Randy. You could have run through there.
Well, I can run a few yards anyway.
Yeah, now watch this. I mean, just an outstanding job by that Kannapolis offensive line right there. That was just tremendous.
For Caldwell, his 11th touchdown on the season, and boy, was it probably the most important one of the season.
And now he's finally stretched the legs out a little bit. He can take another deep breath now, but my goodness.
Well, I can't.
There's still 4.5 minutes to go, but now you put South Point in a position where they've got to get down the field.
Wonder fans, well, nobody's cold tonight. What do you mean it's cold? Nobody in the stadium is cold tonight. They haven't been still long enough to get cold.
There's a bunch of people in here with no shirts ready. They're feeling no pain. You can bet on that.
Tell you what, we might get Seagant to take his off tonight.
No, that ain't happening.
Well, no. Come to think
about the police up here if that happens.
Come think about it. There's a shirtless.
Look at that.
That's a Red Raider.
I wonder if his mama knows he's doing that.
Well, she does now.
Well, our cable doesn't reach this far.
Well, she's gonna get it.
Yeah.
Free subscription. End over ender. And down at about the 10, 11-yard line, here comes Stowe. And he's juking and jiving. Gets loose momentarily, and let's see who finally pinned him on the ground.
Looks like Collins got it.
He was dancing around out there, but he wasn't going anywhere.
Well, he, again, was just a step or two away from taking that one all the way. He made some nifty moves, Randy, when it looked like there was a wave of white shirts around him, and you see Devin Lowry trying to fire his team up. I mean, this kid does it all. He's a senior, and right now his team needs him to be a leader.
Don't think they've ever been behind this late in the season.
You're right.
In a game. Or this late in the game this year. Here's the pass, tipped, incomplete. Trying to hit Stowe out of the backfield. Had it in his fingertips.
But that time again, Lipscomb was back there just hounding him to death.
Wonder defense.
And see, now you start making them think, doing things they don't naturally do.
Charlie Fox says I should have had another pick.
And you mentioned a big key, Randy. South Point has been blowing people out all year long. You wonder if they've been in many nail biters.
I don't think so. I mean, you look at it. I mean, it's definitely a fact they have not been behind this late in the game. I mean, the Ashburn game was ended up at a tie, but they still had a full quarter to go. But it was stopped due to lightning. Here's Lowry throwing, and is it a catch? They're going to give it to him at the 35-yard line. And Michael McWhirter with a fine play there.
And I want you to know there was a tremendous block. Rashard Reed threw a block on Jarrell McCray that he'll be feeling tomorrow. Watch this. Watch 33 right there. What a nice block.
Third down and 3. Reed. They obviously got two shots at it as we're inside 4 minutes to go in regulation. Split to the bottom of your side, 4 minutes to go in regulation. Two receivers, one split to the bottom of your screen, one to the top. Single setback is Reed. We haven't heard his number called much.
I think that's the first time he's asked the crowd to be quiet.
And it will be the option. And they'll have the first down. Stone, second effort, gets him past Edwards and the sticks out to about the 40-yard line.
Looked like he was running through a tunnel that time, Randy. He just kind of ducked and found some daylight there and was able to squirm his way for the first down here.
Well, I guess if you're the Wonder defense, you say, well, hey, we'll give them the little swing, the little end arounds for 3 and 5 yards because they got 60 yards to go and time's running off the clock.
The danger is this team has enough speed to burn you on that.
Here's Lowry, back to pass, pressure. Lipscomb had a shot. Another guy, and that one incomplete. Yes.
And boy, Basinger came up and let him know about it. I mean, look at Lee Basinger. That uniform is all dirty and nasty. That's a defensive lineman look right there. Watch this. Lipscomb comes up and flushes him out. Then Keller comes, and then Basinger, the Shrine Bowler, meets the Shrine Bowler and puts him on the ground.
Good news is the next time those two guys meet each other, they'll be on the same team.
Yeah,
goodness.
They'll be teammates. And boy, what a defensive unit that ought to be.
2nd and 9 at the 39-yard line of South Point. Wonders with a 7-point lead. Now 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in the contest. On the crossbar, Reed is open. First down at midfield into Wonder territory, and the Red Raiders are still alive. Jason Brown with the tackle.
Coming up on 3 minutes to go, Randy. As soon as they can set the ball, they'll move the clock again. And right there, Jason Brown was about the last guy. They're just across midfield.
A gain of 13 to the Wonder 48-yard line. Just inside the 48. Lowry pumps it out. This is a lateral flare pass, and Werner brought down from behind by Charlie Fox at the 40-yard line. A pickup of about 8 on the play.
Yeah, that was definitely a lateral. The official immediately signaled that it wasn't a forward pass, it was a lateral. But he made a nice gain out of it, and this is the first time we've seen this play from South Point tonight. And there's a missed tackle right there, but a sure one at the end by Charlie Fox.
The clock shows 2:33 and running. 3 wide receivers. Reed the lone setback behind Lowry. First down inside the Wonder 30. Fox with the tackle. And to me, he hit him first, but it will be enough to move the sticks. Here comes South Point trying to tie this game.
Again, a huge hole. Great job by the South Point offensive line. And Reed, you give him that much room, and he's going to make you pay.
The clock running. The ally of the Wonders. South Point cannot afford to sputter any play, really. First and 10 at the Wonder 29-yard line. Lowry brings it away, keeps it upended at the 22-yard line. Ooh, that hurt.
D'Angelo Collins turned him upside down that time. And he looks like he's a little frustrated now because South Point is clicking on all cylinders coming down the field here, and everybody was fooled. Nobody realized Lowry had it.
Lowry is a winner indeed. Whether he wins this game or not remains to be seen, but what an athlete, what a leader. 2nd and 2 at the 21-yard line. It'll be Reed busting it for the first down as the clock will stop momentarily to move the chains.
Or at least, let's see, I don't know, he may not have gotten it, did he?
You're right. I gave it to him. The clock does stop with 1:23 to go in the 4th period, but timeout has been called by South Point. You can see Coach Devon. Here's the play again.
Right there and in the middle, on the ground. Look at that. Who brought him down on the ground? Laying there was Fernando, who wrestles him down from the prone position.
A strong young man. If you can reach up and grab something and run it by, you can get a train on the way by.
Nice play. And I'm telling you, that is like laying on the tracks, isn't it, when the freight train's coming by?
Only he lived about it. He lived to tell about it, right?
Most people never do, but that's a fine play.
Ball is at the 19-yard line. It is 3rd down and short.
Well, at absolutely, positively, no question about it for South Point. They are in 4-down territory. If you don't get it here, you go for it again. So maybe on a play like this, you do something a little bit. Look, is he trying to make sure that thing doesn't come out of the ground or what?
I was getting ready to say,
I don't know what that's all about.
He's taking a timeout. No resting on the goalpost there.
Some calisthenics. That might be a penalty.
Yeah. They first need to take care of the first down and then some. And Reed's got that and then some. Inside the 5, touchdown!
Now, a decision. Do you tie it or go for 2?
I think I go for 1. The way that guy's running, I believe I take my chances. 4 plays for 10 yards out in overtime.
You're right, Randy. Here comes the kicker, Richmond. Good call there, and what an impressive drive by the Red Raiders.
Now keep in mind, the Wonders have a minute and 17 to do something about it here. Big kick here for Richmond. Snap, spot, kick, up, long enough, and it's tied. Wow. We got a new game, folks. 1:17 to go in the 4th period, and it's tied at 28 apiece. And these two prize fighters, neither one of them will go to the mat. As we come back, Randy Willie along with Woody Kane, as Ron Massey said, well, he got one part of it right. There was a 56-52 game last year with Kings Mountain and South Point. Well, we got 56 up there.
Well,
that's both teams combined.
Well, the way these two teams are going at each other now, they may be able to put 3, 4, 5 touchdowns on the board if we go to overtime. But Kannapolis, we think, has 2 timeouts left. Remember, Josh Lee called one before they got the touchdown down on the other end, but there was a little bit of confusion.
That guy right there can make it a Wonder advantage in about 10 seconds if he gets the right lane. Special teams have been a storied past in the Wonder execution over the years. At the 5-yard line, it's Brown looking for the wedge, and he breaks out of it out to the 33-yard line, and what made it look interesting, didn't it?
Was it just me, or did he look like he wanted to pitch that for a second? I'm telling you, it almost looked like he was thinking about trying to pitch that to somebody.
Well, the Wonders have 2 timeouts, and Josh Lee coming. Here we see the touchdown again.
And it's just a tremendous hole there. Nice work by the South Point offensive line, and now Kannapolis will have a chance to respond with 1:10.
Got to take care of the fullback is what they said. That time nobody got him. 4 wideouts for Lee. Looking, going deep. He's looking for incomplete. It doesn't matter. Allison, the intended receiver at the 35-yard line. True Divine with a fine defensive play to bat it away.
There was so much room between them, Randy, when that ball went in the air, and they both ran to the same point, and Divine darn near reeled it in that time. So the Wonders still throwing haymakers.
There's a lot of haymakers up there.
I'm telling you.
They also think Allison and Edwards are the wides. The slot is Carter to the bottom. Now they'll throw another guy out there. One guy back to block for Lee. Well, of course they're going to pass it. He's going to run to the sidelines, and he gets out of bounds. Nope. They're going to say stopped at about the 33-34-yard line. So the clock now shows 50 seconds.
And now they call it a timeout. I think South Point called it.
Yeah, they got a chance to get in field goal range and win this game in regulation.
They sure do, because we've documented the range that Richmond has. I think Kannapolis was believing by spreading them out they were going to catch him napping that time, but the Red Raider defense doing a good job of staying at home there on that left side.
If you wonder, you don't want to take all the air out of it just yet. Maybe go to overtime, because you got 52 seconds here. You got to do something with it. They got 3rd down and 9 coming up. You don't want to risk the interception. You don't want to risk too much fancy stuff and maybe a fumble, because a turnover right here, and they are in Richmond's field goal range. And you just pray that Michael Anthony gets off a boomer in the punt team.
Right now, if you're a Wonder fan, you're not thinking about that. You're thinking, try to get a first down here. And one of the best options all night long for the Wonders has been Carter. Try to get him loose. You don't have to try and run him deep downfield and throw him the bomb. You can afford to throw him a short pass and let him use his speed. All you want to do is get him out there isolated on somebody.
Yeah, he's been kind of quiet the last couple of series, hasn't he?
Well, he's gotten his wind back, that's for sure.
3rd and 9. Brown lines up as a slot. You've got Carter up there as a wide receiver, and now
the officials have stopped it. Kannapolis takes a timeout.
I think they just weren't sure of their offensive set, but is this cat and mouse game? Coach Massey wanted to see what kind of defense. So let's throw this out and see how they react.
Well, I don't know. It looked like there was a little bit of confusion, but I didn't see any of the players signaling for a timeout there. Surely you wouldn't think they would have just wanted to get a defensive look like they do in basketball on the inbounds play.
This game was, what was it? It seems like it's been about 3 days ago. It was 13-7 at halftime in favor of Southborough. Kannapolis had the lead 7-3, and then it was 14-13. Then they were behind 21-14. Now they're up 28-21, and now it's tied again. So
back and forth and back and forth.
Here we go. Out of the shotgun, Josh Lee and the Wonders on 3rd and 9. He stopped for a loss back at the 30-yard line.
And South Point uses a timeout, and I think that might be their last.
I believe you're correct, so they cannot stop the clock except to move the chains on the offense. The clock shows 46 seconds. Still plenty of time in this game.
And now you mentioned the punt. Watch this. They try to roll Lee out. Here comes the blitz. Chasing him right down is Michael McWhirter. But right now, it is absolutely critical that Michael Anthony get off a good punt.
The Wonders capitalizing on a couple of turnovers to get back in the game and take the lead. And, of course, the Red Raider defense hoping to do the same here on this punt attempt. 46 seconds to go in regulation. Back in a minute. Here we come. And here's the attempted punt by Anthony. Well, he gets off a Butte this time. There will be a return. Williams at the 40-yard line. And he's dropped at the 44-yard line after about a 3 or 4 yard gain. 35 seconds to go.
Looked like the first guy down there was Josh Reeves to make the tackle.
The Red Raiders need about 25 yards, perhaps, for a shot at a field goal to win this game.
But remember, we believe that they are out of timeouts right now. We don't think they've gotten any more timeouts.
Let's see what Lowry and company come up with here. Wonder defense. Same alignment. Lowry back to pass. Ooh. Look out, he's carrying that football like a loaf of bread. That's dangerous. They had a couple of shots at it, and he'll go down with a sack back at the 43-yard line.
And again, give credit to Duran Lipscomb, who got into the backfield and flushed Lowry out. They've got to go 17, 16 seconds.
Down to 15 seconds. Maybe the last play of the regulation here, and he spikes it. Woody, I don't know. I know you're playing with high school kids, but it takes 15 seconds from the time you get up there to spike it. I mean, of course.
Well, they may not have been thinking in terms of if we don't get it, spike it. They may have been thinking if we don't get it, it's an incomplete pass and the clock will stop.
Well, that's a loss, a down there, so it's 3rd down.
It's possible, but now you're asking an awful lot. You're asking them to complete the ball, get out of bounds, and hurry your field goal team onto the field.
They need, like you said, about 25, 27 yards here. And Lowry with the blitz coming. And Lipscomb will get him from behind. And
boy, are both teams just pinning their ears back and coming after them.
Lipscomb says, well, I'm having so much fun, let's play overtime. And that's what we're going to do.
Free football.
We'll take a 3-minute, they'll take a 3-minute cooling off period and have the coin toss, which is very important. We'll have that for you when our coverage continues. From Lineberger Stadium in Belmont in just a minute. Welcome back. Woody Kane, Randy Whitley, Steve Gann, the entire Metro 7 production staff. We're ready for overtime. Now, our production crew has had plenty of experience in overtime this season, but I don't think neither one of these teams have been in overtime.
Well, let's take a look here at this last play. Watch the frustration on Lowry after he gets back there. Now, of course, the Wonders know that they got to pass here, so they can just pin their ears back and come after it. And look at that. He's like, oh, come on. But it's a different ball game when you played run defense, and then finally you know they're going to pass and we can just come after them.
Well, I like South Point's chances in overtime with number 33 back there. Give him the ball and make the defense stop him. I mean,
but remember now, both teams will get another timeout, and typically the team that wins the toss will elect to go defense first, so they know what they have to be.
And also on this coin toss, the head coaches will come out.
Well, the Wonder head coach is way up top.
He can't come out, can he? We'll see who Josh Lee brings out with him.
Looked like Buddy Emerson was down there with him.
I think the professor is getting ready to come out.
The officials are making sure all that 3-minute delay period is ticked off before they bring them out there. But, you mentioned the chances with Reed, Randy, but the big thing to remember is they put the ball on the ground quite a few times tonight.
There's the 4 captains well, they don't bring their coach out. South Point doesn't. Let's go to the field right now.
Going to overtime, we've already explained your options. You played a great ball game to this point. You displayed great sportsmanship. Keep it up in the overtime, okay? Captain White or Coach White, we're going to allow you to call the toss again. That's a regular 50-cent piece. There's heads and there's tails. I'll flip it, call it while it's in the air. If I drop it, we'll do it again. Call it in the air. Heads. Call it heads, and it is tails. Red, you have the options of offense, defense, or into the field. You want defense. Consequently, you automatically take offense and which end of the field. On this end, all right? White, if you'll stand right here and face in that direction. Wait a minute, Red. Stand right here and face him. All right? White, we'll have first down. Good guys.
Tell you what, we got a referee, Brad Allen. He's a pretty good choreographer too. He's making sure everybody's out of the camera lanes and everything like that.
You don't want to have a chance of something getting messed up right there in the middle while everybody's staring at you.
Exactly.
You want that part to go smooth.
Well, as is always the case, you want to see what you have to beat. And 9 times out of 10, if you win the toss, you're going to play defense first.
And that's exactly what they're going to do here now. And critical to score and make South Point have to come back with 7 to beat you, because we've already established what a weapon Richmond is.
Well, you don't really have to score. If you don't score, they can just come out and try a field goal on first down or second down. If it gets blocked or whatever,
try it again.
Yeah. Here come the Wonder offense out. As we said, I don't think either team has been in overtime this season. We've seen a few.
Yeah, we had, 3 straight overtimes at one point there.
We're beginning to think we're getting cheated the last 2 or 3 weeks. Here we go on first down and goal at the 10-yard line. Wonders first crack in overtime. Josh Lee making something happen on first down. Got about 2, maybe 3 yards that time. Well, they're not really going to give him a good spot. Actually, just inside the 9-yard line.
I think he wanted to have the option to pitch here, Randy, but too much penetration by the Red Raiders that time forced Josh to just tuck it up and run.
And he's got the play from the sideline. Time is of no importance. The clock, you got 4 downs to do something with it. Second and goal. Carter in motion. He'll get the quick toss. Looking for the block. And spins forward to about the 6. Credit the Red Raider defense. Lowry coming up first.
And now, Randy, might be the opportunity to come back with that play you had in the first half. The Red Raiders have seen this play a lot, and they were all over it that time. This might be an opportunity to where they're being real aggressive, trying to shut down that sweep or the end around, to where you come back with that little pass over the middle of Caldwell like you did for the touchdown in the first half. Or the third quarter, I should say.
Some kind of counter play somewhat to get them going one way and back the other. Third and goal for the Wonders at the 6-yard line. Quick toss. They go to Caldwell, and he's going to be stopped. A loss back to the 9. That was the play. Woody, you had it called, and they were waiting on it. Number 53 there, that was Jordy Rice making the tackle. And now it looks like the field goal unit's coming up.
Look at here. They ran into his own man, but the Red Raiders had it covered up pretty well.
This will be the first field goal try by David Henry, this young kicker, who's in for the injured Rush Robinson. He has done a great job, and this really a little bit more than an extra point. It'll be a 26-yard field goal attempt. Snap, spot, kick is up. It's long enough, and it's well into the night. It's good. Wonders have claimed the lead in overtime, 31-28. Now it's up to their defense to keep them out of the end zone.
Critical thing to keep in mind here is we saw some huge plays up the middle that last time for Rashard Reed.
Exactly.
You got to keep the middle sealed off.
If the Wonders can force a fumble, they win the game.
Let's take a look here at the kick, and he knew right away it was good.
David Henry gives his team the lead. Right now, the Red Raiders have 4 shots at it. They need at least 3.
Well, they'll probably take 3 shots at it unless they get really close. Looked almost like the center, Ian Gibson, was limping a little bit as he went toward the ball there.
Here's Lowry. Gives it to Reed, and he gets something happening on first down. That's a must in overtime. He'll get to about the 7-yard line. 3 yards on the first play.
There's some hitting going on down there now, Randy.
Well, you don't have to cover much territory when you're the defense down there. 10 yards. Now it's only 7 yards you got to be responsible for.
And remember, if there is a turnover, you don't get the chance to advance it. It just goes over. And a turnover here means ball game wonders.
Second and goal from the 7. It will be Lowry stopped. It is McCray and a big hit. And they blow the whistle. He and McClure. Once again, the M&M guys coming through, stopping him for a big loss. Back to about the 9-yard line. Or really 9.5. So now it's 3rd and long.
You know, Randy, a lot of games you see the defenses beating up on the offenses or the offenses beating up on the defenses all night. But in this game, offenses have made huge plays. Defenses have made huge plays. Just a great game both ways for both teams all night.
That number 5 guy, Devin Lowry, he's
something.
He's
something. I'm
don't
telling
be
you.
surprised if he pulls another rabbit out of his helmet out there. It's 3rd and goal at the 9.5-yard line in overtime. Lowry looking to the air, rolling right, throwing, and I don't know if he was pressured or he just did not have a good grip on the football as it just...
I think it just slipped out of his hand, it looked like, Randy. He got a little pressure, but he rolled away from it nicely and had some time. I think it just slipped out of his hand.
Now Richmond is on to attempt the extra point to try to tie it and send it into a second overtime as we watch the attempted pass. It just
slipped out of his hand. Now, a huge one here.
This will be from 26 yards. Snap, spot, kick, up, long enough, and good. Wow. It goes by so fast, it looked like a rocket taking off. You have to wait and see. Is there football that just went through the uprights?
Can you say double overtime?
We can, and that's where we're going. Timeout on the field. It's tied at 31. As we come back to Lineberger Stadium, as they do in overtime in high school, it's a rotating basis. So the team that played defense the first time will play offense in the second overtime. So South Point gets the football first to start the second overtime session. We're tied at 31. 1st and goal at the 10. And it's Reed. They got him right out of the Keller got him right out of the chute there for about a yard.
And I'm telling you, Randy, Keller, only a junior, has had an amazing game. He really has played his heart out tonight.
Well, if you're the Wonders and you maybe hold the Red Raiders to a field goal, then you go, hey, touchdown.
Boy, it's about like the election going on in Florida. Too many ifs, ands, or buts right now to worry about what's going to come out of it.
I know one thing. We don't have all votes counted yet. 2nd and goal at the 9. Lowry. And tries to option at the last minute. That was a dangerous play. Reed going nowhere, and he's lucky he held on to the football.
D'Angelo Collins almost got there and took that one away. But you're right, Randy. He was falling down and was able to pitch that. You want to talk about dangerous? Look at this. That blur was Collins going through there.
I'm glad you saw it. It's 3rd and goal at the 10.
What an amazing game.
Well, the Wonder defense got it right where they want it, right? Yeah.
Now, don't say that now.
You don't know. You just don't know.
Too many things can happen.
Now they will have Stowe and Reed behind Lowry on 3rd and goal at the 10. And it's Reed up the middle, hitting at the 5, still churning, and he gets away. Can they get him off his feet? Boy, he got close.
Man, how many? I think everybody but the fans hit him that time. I mean, he kept fighting and fighting.
Where did they put his progress at, or did they blow the whistle? I tell you,
Let's
watch this
see.
again. This is amazing.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Man,
Finally,
Almost.
Conlon's got him.
almost the whole team hit him. But now,
The ball is on the 2 or the 3. I can't see. Let's see.
they're going to take a timeout and discuss it, Randy, because they're thinking we're close enough to try and go for the touchdown here. They know they can get the 3, but they're close enough to try and go for the touchdown and put some real pressure on Kannapolis.
Got to give it to Reed, I would think.
My goodness.
Well, they stopped him and stopped him and stopped him, and then, you know, you keep going till you hear the whistle.
So they are going to spot it at the 3. And look at Coach Massey up there.
It's just like another day at the office for him. He's
Well, I don't know.
Mr. Mice.
He
Ice water in his
he probably
veins.
doesn't have any fingernails left at this moment.
I mean, he's moving around. He says, "Man, I can't get out of the way. I can't get away from you camera guys."
Man, it's what intensity, what a great game. It's just everything you could want. I don't see how the state championship game could be any better than this. Look at Reed just fighting and fighting.
It's 4th down at the 3-yard line. Actually,
And they're going to go.
well, if they don't make it, boy. But if they do make it, it's going to explode here.
Either way, it's wow. And they're taking every bit of time. And the coaches look like they're trying to holler at him and signal at him. They may take too much time or something. What's going on here?
Well, the coach is still out there.
Okay. They're hollering at him to get off the field.
That's the longest minute, Nora. Here we go. 4th down and goal at the 3. In the second overtime. They got the Wonders to jump. That will cost them half the distance, so that makes it a little bit better.
Boy, now you really put your defense up against the wall.
They were guessing, and you got to get low. That defensive line just got to get low, get in there, get some penetration.
Hard count by Lowry, the senior, and it gets about 3 Wonders to jump. So now they'll put it at about the 1.5. Watch here. See that? It wasn't just one guy. A few of them were fooled.
So, just outside the 1-yard line. 4th down.
Still.
Reed. Good bet he's going to get the football. Maybe Lowry will carry it. Big side of the field here. It will be Reed, and touchdown.
Tremendous.
How big was that penalty?
Pretty big because that was about the distance he needed to get over the line.
Now a very important extra point coming up. South Point retakes the lead in overtime, number 2, 37-31.
And they didn't have enough people out there, and finally Lowry comes out.
Well, Reed's got his own fan club here.
Yep.
Mr. Richmond's been perfect tonight. 3 field goals. Extra points have all been good. Now he's got another big one here. The soccer-style kicker ready. The left footer up. And it's good. 38-31. Now it's the Wonders' turn to try to come back and send it into another overtime.
And I really think, Randy, the Wonders are going to have to at least try one pass toward the end zone here because the Red Raiders are thinking run when they're playing defense against Kannapolis. Here comes Reed right there.
Well, they got him at the line of scrimmage, but you just don't keep him out from a yard out. That's hard. That's tough to ask any defense.
Now watch this. You'll see Lipscomb get back there, and by that time Reed had already gone by.
Keep in mind it was 3rd down and goal just outside the line. Reed with 2 big runs. Here come the Wonder offense. Well, here comes the Wonder offense. offense and obviously the Red Raider defense onto the field.
And now somebody's realized, hey, they're going to need a football. And the officials get one out there.
Can't play with the football. Lipscomb is the up back, the fullback. You've got Caldwell, the tailback. They're back to the I formation this time. They'll send McCree in motion. And here's Lee on the roll with the pass. Going end zone. And picked off. And by Lowry. And that is your ball game. The pictures tell it all. You won't find a more competitive high school football game maybe in the world as you just witnessed tonight. And one thing is for sure, both teams didn't leave anything at home tonight.
Well, I don't see how any other playoff game or even the state championship game could be any better than this. Double overtime, and South Point comes out on top with his interception.
Devin Lowry, we saw haymakers. Boy, is he a playmaker. He intercepts it in the second overtime and preserves this Red Raider victory.
Take a look. Josh Lee Rowland here looks, and I don't think he ever saw Lowry.
We watch it again. They were looking for
Lowry's toward the middle of the field, and Lee looks like he thinks he's got it open, and then Lowry comes from the middle toward the outside right there.
They were looking for McCree. He's 6'7". They're going to take advantage of his height in the end zone, and the pass just a little underthrown. Boy, what a game. You hate to see anybody lose it. And hats off to those guys right there in the green and white. What a season they had, and they may have lost to the state champions. If they did, I want to see somebody better than South Point. The Red Raiders win it in 2 overtimes tonight, 38-31.
Time Warner Cable, Metro Channel 7, committed to great community programming.
Double overtime affair. South Point Red Raiders will advance over the Ale Brown Wonders with a 38-31 win. Let's go field side. Here's Woody King.
Okay, thanks, Randy. Well, Coach Massey, I don't know how any game could be any more exciting than that. It's a shame anybody had to lose it.
Well, it's, both teams played their heart out, which I knew they would, and I knew it'd be that type of game. And, they just, fortunately for us, they made some plays down at the end. And, I thought probably, last drive they had was big for them. And then, down here on the 4th and goal, they stick it in. And, I appreciate the effort our kids gave. They come into somebody else's backyard, it's a tough situation, and they did a great job. They've had a great year, and this is tough right now. I just hope our community, our fans will be there for them, for the next few days, because they're going to need that support.
Oh, I'm sure they will, Coach, but back up in the first half there, they got a couple of big field goals on you to get a 6-point lead. What'd you tell your kids at halftime?
Well, the kid knocked them through. I thought it could have swung both ways. There were a lot of turnovers in that third quarter. It's pretty wild. We got a couple big ones and scored, and then got it back and then turned it right back over to them. So, those are things that are going to happen. We didn't get down,
We came back, we took the lead, and we just couldn't hold on to it.
Well, Coach, congratulations on a fine season, and boy, enjoy what you have with these guys, because I know there's a lot of seniors who will be missing football now.
Oh yeah, it will be, and but we've got a great group of young men. They'll go on and I'll tell you, they'll be successful in a lot of different areas. So I'm very proud of them.
No doubt. Congratulations, Coach. Thanks for taking the time. Okay, let's go back upstairs to Randy.
Okay, let's look at some final numbers for you. Couldn't really ask for any more balance as far as that is concerned. A little bit more total yards and the rushing stat for South Point. Turnovers were big for both teams. Penalty markers, well, what else can you say? Unbelievable game here at double overtime, and the Wonders, not a bad year. You take a 11-2 record to the bank every season. South Point, they still are now 11-0-1, and they'll go to round number 3, down to the final 8 in the state, and I want to see the team that beats them. I tell you what, Reed and Lowry and company, pretty good folks. We got some pretty good folks as well, and there's a look at them. Some of the folks up top, the camera people, the people who have been some great, fantastic pictures all season long, and there's the guys down on the handheld, Robert and Lanny, and great work, guys. You do a fantastic job. And there's old Douglas. Hey, Dougie. Hey, it won't be long. He's a Braves fan. Baseball season just around the corner. And, of course, not to mention the guys in the truck, Dave and Jim and Ted and company and thousands of others, too numerous to mention. That'll do it for our football coverage this season. We've enjoyed it, and thank you so much for being a part with us this season on Metro 7. Steve Gant, Woody Kane, Randy with us, and thanks for being with us, and hey, happy holidays, everybody.